Hello everybody, how are we doing? Bracket is live. I'm going to have a quick peek through this and see what we have got going on. Hope you're having a wonderful start to your Wednesday, middle of the week. MaxPacks versus Rex, Really plays Astrea, Sue versus Vanya, Triple versus Bullgom, Nightmare versus Milky Cow of Fjord, ByuN versus Future or Spats, Trap versus Lambo or Lancer. Lambo Lancer's fun. Firefly against a Velitos or another name I can't read. Skillous versus Uthermal, potentially Ryung versus Trigger maybe. Clem plays Eva or Hydra. Solo plays Geralt or Lunacy. Shin plays DNS or Ender. Spirit plays Young Machine or Gref. Classic plays Mocha or Stats. Creator against Coffee or Harstem. Oh, I kind of like Coffee Harstem as a first round matchup, actually. Yeah, I kind of like Coffee Harstem first round. I think let's do that. Let's do Coffee Harstem first round, and then we'll just sort of see where the bracket goes. There's not one immediate section that I'm clamoring to get into. There's a lot of good sections. I mean, I think a lot of second round matches are just going to be very fun in general. The Lambo Lancer series is also very fun, but I think we'll start with Coffee Harstem. Alright, let's go find Coffee Harstem. I imagine we're going to be on Americas. We'll swap on over that again. Hello, good day. Hope everyone's doing great. I'm just going to throw one more round of ads at you guys. Not because I hate you all, but just because it means that we'll have a little bit more wiggle room a bit further down the line. Just makes the rest of our day a little easier. Where's this Harstem guy at, man? I bet he's not here just to piss me off. He's busy playing Terran, of course he is. What a champion. Alright, we'll probably take a few moments then to get started, guys. But we are going to be going into the Kung Fu Cup games today. Going to be a lot of fun. Kung Fu Cup's always got great players, great matches. We always have a good time with it, so excited for that to be the case today as well. Underway in just a few. Harstem's coming out of his games. Just missing Coffee then. That means we should be able to get going in a couple. Perfect, guys. Alrighty, so we'll be up and running very, very soon. Like I say, we're going to go Harstem Coffee, and we'll just kind of, like I say, feel the rest of the day out. I think there's a lot of good matches. It's very difficult to kind of necessarily pick some over others. So we'll just sort of take it as it comes and see what we like the look of as the matches move on by. You spectate the goat, Cyril. Cyril ain't in the bracket, mate. Cyril is not in the bracket. Yeah, Harstem Coffee seems like a fun, aggressive first round match, and like I say, we can kind of just figure it out from there and see what's going on. So just figuring out if Coffee is here or not for Harstem to play against. So yeah, we're just looking for Coffee. Like I said, we have not seen him yet, but if we can find him, that would be amazing. He might be a couple moments. Yeah, I think Coffee is on the way. They are finding him. We can go Lancer Lambo as well if we need to. So we also have Lancer Lambo as an option, which is Lancer used to be known as Cyan, so Cyan Lambo is also a pretty cool match. If Cyril is playing with all the casters to follow Cyril, I would. It doesn't matter to me if there's 5 other people casting Cyril. The viewership I gain from casting Cyril versus not is just, even if other people are, is just huge. And it makes for much better YouTube videos. So if Cyril was actually in the bracket, I would be following Cyril no matter what. There's just zero doubt in my mind. Like I say, like, I appreciate there's the whole, like, try and cover as many games as possible and stuff, but at the end of the day, like, I'm here to, you know, we gotta be successful, you know, we gotta make a living. Viewership and viewers in general generally does that for you, so yeah. How's everyone doing? Hello, hello. Double check the server rule. Get this up and running. Where's the Tingle Tangle? Sugar Teats on the 3-year-old memes. Unbelievable. Tingle Tangle's not been around for a while. Couple of videos coming in. Dynasty, Ghost River, Amphion, Post Youth, Golden Aura. One more video and then we'll have our map picks coming in. Get ready to go here on today's Kung Fu Cup, edition number 10 of the season. One more Kung Fu Cup. Next week's Kung Fu Cup is the final Kung Fu Cup of the season. Not sure if they've got plans or dates or anything for Masters Coliseum and stuff yet, because that's usually what this leads into, but yeah. If I can actually find any information on that. No, they don't have anything on it. Okay. First map going to be Oceanborn. Going to get this set up for the guys. Get this underway. Players ready. Everyone's set. Click start. We gave everyone a lobby link. Perfect. Let's go. Let's turn off the music. Let's get the Starcraft beeps and bops and music in here instead. And get this ready to rumble. Alright guys, welcome to the Kung Fu Cup again. Good to see you all. Thanks for joining us in the midst of a week pretty full of Starcraft 2. We've had our own WardiTV event yesterday as well. We're going to have that again tomorrow. I am away over this weekend, Friday through Monday. But yeah, keeping as busy as we can with all of our events and tournaments. As we have at the top left-hand side, our blue Terran player to start us off. This is Coffee. Or, as we prefer to say, Coffee. My boy Demi was here. Be Coffee and all the way through this series. As in the bottom right, our red Protoss player Harstem. It's a really fun matchup because we know Harstem can be good, fun, interesting. Coffee can be such an aggressive player, though. He can throw this, that, and whatever at you. So definitely expect this to be a pretty entertaining series, honestly. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. And see if Harstem can kind of deal with the pressures that Coffee brings to a game of Starcraft 2. Harstem is definitely well versed in the styles of the Chinese players, because you know, it was a few times over that he went over to China and played in the Chinese league and so on. It was China or Taiwan. It might have been a bit of both, honestly. But he's well versed with these guys. He's been playing against these guys for years, so definitely one of the players out there that has a good amount of experience in these sort of situations. Let's see what he can bring to the table today. Going up against Coffee in this game number 1. Probe is just scouting about over to the left-hand side and already just looking to see a bit of what's going on. Let you guys gamble. Okay, I'll allow you to be degenerates. Hang on. Just please remind me to, like, just at me in the chat and tell me to close the prediction after the series so that I can start up a new one and stuff. Because I'm just terrible at remembering to do it. So, I don't mind doing it. It's just, you people usually tell me when it's like 4 minutes into the game. I'm like, ah! Then it's more difficult for me to do, but... Alrighty, well, a couple of SCVs going to go. A nibbling probe is going to be coming about. CC comes over. Drops down onto the natural. Reaper orbital, command center, factory coming up as well. As you just see the Nexus and the Cybercore continue to come into play. Another probe just continuing through. And we just have Harstem bringing the probe back down toward the bottom right-hand side. Just bringing this back across for now. Well, a couple of adept shots just coming off. Reaper going to get a grenade out, and that's going to be seen the adept getting pushed away. As the Reaper continues through, a couple of these probes taking some damage. Oh, the probe with the block as well. That's actually a beautiful play. Awesome getting the kill with that probe, filling the wall gap in the wall. That was absolutely spot on. Gets himself the Reaper, and okay information gathered by Coffee, but that's absolutely huge. As the Stargate coming up and online, a couple of probes continue to move about. And Cyclone, Marine, Starport, and the Orbital all continue to come up right now. Still got that Stargate about to finish. Couple more probes popping out, and the two Adepts of Harstem making their way toward the upper left-hand side. So they're going to be moving in toward the natural here very, very shortly. As we look to see what the plan may be. So those two Adepts are going to move up a little bit. Cyclone is going to move forwards. Our Oracle and our Warp Gate on the way up as well. Lots of good defensive units against the Stargate opener, right? And obviously, good defensive units can turn into a pretty solid push as well in the right situations. So that's definitely one thing to keep our eyes on, keep mindful about, that there is potential aggression, especially with the medevac on the way too. Coffee will have options to bring action across the map here in the near future and to try and get something done. As you just see our Oracle moving back over to the left-hand side. Probe facility halfway done, so Harstem just Phoenix now into most likely an Immortal defensively, and then Colossus is the long-term plan. That is 9 times out of 10 the way that this Stargate Robo style will run. As the Oracle shows up, gets 2 SCVs, going to make it, I was going to say 3. Should have made it 3 because the Cyclones get the lock on, and he was not far enough away to get out of there. 2 more barracks on the way up in the main base currently. Our Immortal, our Phoenix coming through, a Gateway coming up as well. Marines and the medevac still just making their way forwards down to the bottom. A couple more Cyclones coming through as well. And that's going to be 8 Marines, Widow Mine, and 2 Cyclones joined together, ready to push in on the front line. Yeah, I've got the Immortal coming through there as well. Just going to get that Immortal popping. That's going to be a big part of this defense. The Widow Mine does not go off yet. Goes off on the second Adept. We're now target firing down the Widow Mine, but the Super Battery is going to be taking some damage. It heals up the Pylon. I'm kind of surprised we didn't target fire the Cyclone sooner, but I guess because the idea is going to be that we're going to come in with the Phoenix here and lift goes up. The Marines try and target down a second Phoenix now. That's actually going to happen because we stopped targeting the Marines, which I think is a mistake. I think in this scenario, when you killed off so many of the Marines, there's never a world you shouldn't have killed off the final 2 Marines just to protect the Phoenix, because now you let another Phoenix go down, and obviously every Phoenix that dies is going to be a little bit worse for you, because Phoenix counts are meant to be kept high in these situations. You're meant to have plenty of them to work with. You do have Marines cycling the 1 medevac still escaping away, so a defense from Harstem. And Coffee is not in a great supply position. He's been pretty committed to this so far. 10 workers down currently, and a little bit of lacking army supply as well, so he doesn't really have much to show for it apart from infrastructure that's now coming online and upgrades that can start off of that infrastructure, the stim combat and +1 all on the way. So we do start to make progress over there. Does Phoenix get turned back out to the center? Robo base still about to finish. Nexus halfway done. 2 more probes coming out. Phoenix will head back up to the top as our Reaper comes underneath. Phoenix will just get a quick little grab on the Reaper. Again, Stimpack, Combat Shield, and +1, all of that moving through. Marine Marauder Medevac is coming up. SCV is still on the way from Coffee as well. Phoenix got left first Marine going down, a couple Cyclone shots powering through. The extended Thermal Lance coming online here from Harstem. Only about halfway along. Our Phoenix moving around, a Colossus moving forward, Sentry as well. A few more of these units just in general from Harstem coming over toward the 3rd base. The Bio Army continues to gather up in the center. Medevacs, Bio units, a couple of Widow Mines. All of this just getting settled. And as our +1 attack is about to finish, and Coffee can make a move across to the bottom right-hand corner. So away we go. And there is the Colossus and the extended Thermal Lance coming about. A couple Stalkers and the Sentries are going to be there. Wouldn't mind taking some shots. Cyclone firing. The Phoenix taking a few more hits. A little bit more damage being done. Our Bio will stim forwards. Interference Matrix going down on both Colossus. That's great, but it only lasts for so long. Once those Matrixes fade, these Colossi are still going to be pretty full power. Gives up 1 Zealot here. We are going to lose the Robo, so Coffee able to dive in there. Here the Colossus coming back online. However, the Marauder's getting range to take down Colossus 1. Phoenix is still yet to really do much. Maybe they can lift Marauders here, protect the Colossus. I think we are going to get a full cleanup. At first, I thought the Medevacs might be able to lift up and get away free, but we're actually going to lose pretty much everything, as even this Medevac with a few units inside is the first to go down. So Coffee succeeds. He kills a Robo, he kills a Colossus, but he loses everything. And the problem for Coffee is this was pretty committed. Yeah, he's got a 3rd base and everything, but now you've lost everything all at once. You've got a 20 worker deficit. Harstem builds double Robo, so he'll get straight back to 2 Colossus production. And once he's got 2 more Colossus back up, he really is safe again. And because Coffee lost everything, there's no immediate kind of follow-up threat. If Coffee had a few units left over that escaped away, maybe you come back in very quickly and you can do very well. That's just not going to be the factor now. Phoenix still gathering in the center as we have the Vikings coming through. The Ghost Academy about to finish up. +1 armor finishing on the engineering bay, and concussive shells coming up from Coffee as well. There was a 4th base from Harstem down on the 6 o'clock position. And Phoenix coming back over the left-hand side. Look at that Prism, Charge, and +1 all coming through. The Phoenix going to go back up to the top. There's a couple Widow Mines going to sit nearby there. First shot goes off. Phoenix taking a hit. Phoenix getting blasted as they get turned back down. Again, +1 attack. Armor, Charge on the way. We do have our Prism speed coming up as well. So getting that Gravitic Drive online. You know that that's a good one. There's a few extra Ghosts coming about. Armory on the engineering base still coming up. A couple more Medevacs in production. And once more, these Phoenix of Harstem just going to go back around over to the left-hand side here, trying to see what else we can do. Marine Marauder Viking all on the way up. Engineering bay pops through. It's not every day you hear the Wardy Skype sound coming about. I guess I've found how to turn myself to DND on Skype. Alright, so Phoenix continue through, just hanging around in the center. Army continues to move around a little bit. Again, a couple of ghosts coming up. Marines, Vikings on the way. +2 attack will start on the engineering bay as well. Army still settling down. And +2, +1 coming up. Blink on the way. You can see there's a couple of disruptors still coming about as well. Dark Shrine coming through. Our Nexus is coming about. Extra gateway is building as we do have an army of Harstem coming up the right-hand side. Will arrive near this set of rocks and can potentially pick through there. There's a few Marines. Gonna get lifted up by these Phoenix as well. Gonna get taken out. And back up the top, we are going to knock this set of rocks down, so that will fall. A couple of SCVs going to go down during this as well, as Harstem continues to push up toward the top. Looking to keep on attacking in. Why do Protoss hotkey observers with army only to move command them into their deaths as opposed to just clicking Colossus carriers or army units in the back? I imagine you hotkey your observer with the armies that you would have it with the army if you need detection in the army, right? It's a small unit and you kind of need to keep it with the... You know, it's very difficult to manually control. Otherwise, I guess I don't understand the question. A couple Guardian Shields pop up. We do see Sentry Stalker coming around the right side. A couple of Widow Mines will blast here. And we will clear those out. On the left, we're going to have a little bit of a dive forwards. 2 Colossus. I'm just going to melt through the Marines. It's the Marauders that are the problem. Super battery. Sorry, not even a super battery, just a regular battery is putting in some work. Phoenix were out of energy, so they couldn't lift up those Marauders to save a Colossus. The thing is, Coffee is still just bleeding out units. As our Marines come through, Viking shots fire. Stalkers going to get rid of a Widow Mine. It's going to see another disruptor shot going down. As you see the Phoenix trying to come back in, but there's too many Vikings. I mean, I think Harstem's ground army's good, but the Viking count's a little scary right now. If you click on Observer and an army unit follows the army, yeah, but then it's not in the front of your army, so because it would be on one of the units in the back, if that's what you're saying. And also, if you lose that unit, you then have to retarget the Observer onto another unit, right? So I think it's just, the TLDR is it's just more difficult to do, and it's probably less worthwhile. I mean, Observer shouldn't go move commanding into its death if it's with your army, because that means your army is move commanding in towards its death as well. It's a control thing. But I mean, it's about convenience, right? And at the end of the day, a lot of the things in StarCraft 2 are the most efficient because they're the most convenient, and in this case, being the most convenient is just putting in your army. And then to improve from there would be to make sure you don't send them forward to their death. So as a baseline, just having it in your army hotkey is the easiest way to do it. It's less to worry about. Well, our Stalkers and Colossus just going to knock down this set of rocks, open up a little bit of space to potentially keep moving through. You have Harstem not quite able to take the final fight just yet. The last couple of moments have been a little bit tougher. But a mine shot goes off. We will see this Bioforce still coming around. Fire moving about a little bit. A few DTs going to go towards the upper right as well. Disruptor shot going through. Bio comes up. Another disruptor shot fires again. +3/+3. Cloaking on the Ghost Academy coming through. A few more probes coming about. DTs on the right side just get rid of the 4th base immediately, so that's a fantastic move already. Blink on cooldown for them, but well, they were out of range of the units. They walked back in. Now they actually lose the scan. Harstem pushing forwards here. Turns the disruptor onto the clunk of units on the left-hand side. I feel like the group on the right side would have been a fine target. We are still hitting well on the left, but we get fully surrounded. Harstem has to blink back into these Marauders. Every disruptor has died. His rebuild is Zealots, and then some more disruptors starting up too as Coffee works his way toward 3-3. 19 SCVs have dropped here across the board. We are going to see the rest of the Stalker's Eld Force coming through. Couple libs coming up. Nuke on the way. Missile turrets and cleaned out as these DTs continue to stay active. Blinking around, trying to figure out what else is going on. And this is a lot of damage from Harstem, obviously knocking down the 4th and a bunch of SCVs along the way as well. More libs coming up, missile turret and widow mines coming through, more SCVs on the way. This army still moving up to the top left, so we continue to go pushing. Super shot fires, Marauders and Ghost going down. We are going to blink further to the left. GG is going to be called from Coffee, as Harstem just has too much here. And the good fights throughout are going to net him a Game 1 victory. Alright, well, Harstem DTing it up at the end there, but just looking pretty powerful throughout in general as we get ready to go into a game number 2. Harstem Coffee, second map coming in, obviously. We get to go back to back on these guys. Oh, I'm the host as well, so I actually get to host it, so we get to go straight in game to Site Delta. Let's get that started up then. Again, that was pretty comfortable for Harstem, I feel like, for the majority, but, I mean, he definitely took some losses. It definitely wasn't completely clean sailing. But for the most part, it did feel as though the bigger fights were going his way pretty much every single time. Like, in the grand scheme of things. Like, yes, there was moments in those fights where he lost the Colossus. Like, uh-oh, is that problematic? At the end of the day, a lot of the answers to that was just, no, this was not problematic, this was not an issue. And things just got to reset back down once again. Alright, we hosted in with Terran. I'm going to try that again this time around. So we're going to try and rehost this. Alright, coffee's going to be a moment, guys, so I'll just run a minute of ads while we wait for coffee. Because we're not going to get started any sooner here. Easy channel points. Ay. So yeah, so we're just waiting for this. I'll keep you updated on the bracket. I mean, MaxPacks has moved through Rex to play against Estrella. Sue got a walkover over Vanya. He plays triple. Not really too much else going on. Uthermal got a win. Clem's going to play Eba. Spirit plays Young Machine. Classic against Status. So a lot of first round results coming in. Let's try this again. This time, hope Harstem gets the right race. It does. Hop on into this, guys. Alright, second game of the day as we get this TVP back up and rolling. And can Coffee find some better early game fights? Because it feels like that's what he needs to kind of get things going his way a little bit. As we head into the bottom right corner. So, in the bottom right, our blue Terran player. This is going to be Coffee. Down a game. I'm looking to bring it back here in a game number 2. See what sort of, like I say, aggression he brings, because we know he's the aggressive Terran. We know he's the SCV puller. Just waiting to see exactly how he goes about bringing that to life here. As in the top left, our red Protoss is Harstem. Game number 2 for him. I think he just needs to sit back and play calm and defensive. Again, not all the fights were perfect last time around, but they were definitely good enough. As we get up and running. So getting the simulator coming through, Rex and the gas coming up on Coffee's side. What's up with the Lambo group in the Summit Bash tournament? It was played yesterday, we just haven't had a chance to cast it yet, that's all. I'm not sure if I have a chance to cast it even, because I'm casting today Kung Fu Cup already, tomorrow it's going to be WardiTV Summer Bash Group D. I might go live a bit early tomorrow and just do like it's going to be a long ass stream though. Like I could go live like a couple hours early and cover a couple of matches already, but I just know it's going to be a long day already. I don't know what to do. So TLDR, we're working on it. Yeah, we are working on it. I just don't know what to do for the best. Stuff. Yeah. Trying to just figure out when to cast it. I might do a couple matches of it tomorrow, just not all of it. So yeah. Basically what happened was last week I couldn't get players together in time to play on Tuesday last week for Group A. So then Group A got moved to Thursday, and then basically the schedule of the tournament is because Kung Fu Cup's on Wednesdays and World Team League's on Friday, Saturday, Sundays every week. And then there's ESL Open Cups on Mondays. There's literally the only days I can run stuff is Tuesday and Thursday. So the days are scheduled for Tuesday and Thursday, but that meant that then there was no free day to move the group I couldn't get players for too, so it just got moved to a double group yesterday, but then I was just trying to, I don't know how to cast that. Because, like I said, I've got other stuff going on. I'm away this weekend. I didn't want to move it to next week because next week there's I didn't want to move it back a week because then that week I've already got TLMC and that's a week before eSports World Cup, so I wanted it to be done a little bit ahead of that. Yeah, I don't know, it's scheduling things is really difficult at the moment, guys. It's really tough when World Team League is 3 days a week. I kind of low-key wish they would put World Team League as like 2 days a week. And just have, because like World Team League is typically like 1.5-ish to 2 hours per best of 7. I feel like it'd be way nicer if we had like 3 best of 7s in a day instead of the 2 best of 7s, because I already feel the World Team League streams sometimes are just like 3 hours and that's it and it's done. It's like, oh. So yeah, it would be really nice for us to schedule other tournaments because everyone prioritizes WTL, which means that obviously you don't want to overlap with WTL anyways if possible, but then even if you do, you've got to work around the schedule of all the players who will prioritize WTL in the middle of your tournament. But yeah, it's genuinely very difficult to organize stuff right now because Kung Fu Cup and WTL take up 4 days of the week, and ESL takes up the other day. So then you've got 2 days to run anything on. It's wild. So much Starcraft happening. Not that that's a bad thing, as our Marines are going to come down here and the Adepts are going to get forced away just by the first few Marines showing up. It's going to be Phoenix again from Harstem this time. He's going to maybe be a little bit more careful with the Oracle. One can hope. Obviously, this is 3 racks, so he's going to see this with the Oracle. There's not going to be Cyclones here to grab the Oracle this time. But it's a good scout, because knowing it's 3 racks is a lot of the time half of the battle, because now he knows to be a little bit more safe in unit production. Absolutely would like to get an Immortal out. There's no world in which you don't get an Immortal defensively to help you against the 3 racks push timing. Harstem, if he doesn't get an Immortal, I'm going to lose my mind, but yeah, Immortal just keeps you very safe, unless he genuinely believes he would be able to kind of fight it off without it, in which case you can go straight into a Colossus maybe, but Immortal's just too good to not get. It just keeps you so much safer than not having one. So yeah, way too good not to get. As you have the Oracle still moving down, +1 attack and stim coming through. Additional Marines are producing missile turrets on the way. This Oracle still patrolling around in the front. Just keeping an eye on things for the moment. Marines will begin to push out. Actually going to see that Oracle, and the Oracle will see them, so able to put a bit of damage there. This SCV is coming across the map as well. Some proxy potential. Maybe set up some aggressive turrets or bunkers or so. Oracle flies through. Missile turret fires. Oracle takes a shot already. Nexus is coming up on the 3rd base then, so we get that on the go again. +1 combat shield coming through. Battery coming up as well. A couple more pylons in production. 2 more barracks on the way, so that's going to be, what, 5 racks in total. Factory still coming up as well. Just going to get rid of that Oracle straight away. Now going to get rid of a pylon. Well, this is where the danger lies. I mean, Harstem knew this attack was coming. Here's the Colossus. It's going to be so good against those Marines. That force field was maybe not necessary as delays you kind of moving forward a tiny bit. Those Marines are going to run out of stim. Harstem's going to push this away. The Nexus, there's only shield damage taken. Man, the Colossus was clutch, wasn't it? You see how good it is? As well, the Colossus is going a long way around, but that means it's not in position here. Gets back in range there, but we lost a couple of units already. I think he was going around a flank. And that would have been great if those units had continued to retreat, but the units had decided not to retreat. They had turned back around themselves, so that kind of reset things a little bit. Marines is going to go back home. Combat shields finishing up for them. There's a starport ready to pump out medevacs as well. First two are already out, so we can get some healing done as well, so they're not going to get one-shot by a single Colossus anymore. That obviously helps a lot and pushes us right back into the correct direction. There's Adepts, an Immortal, Colossus, and Sentry, all gathering up on the front of the third. Council Forge, now a couple of gateways coming through as well. The battery starting up from Harstem on the third base also now, as the Phoenix is going to try and hit the medevacs. This army collecting together. We're just going to be seeing a little bit of Marine Marauder through the center of the map as well. Going to come across towards that left-hand side. Still got extended thermal lens, about to finish on the Robo Bay. Scan comes out, battery about to finish. Couple more probes getting picked up as we actually have a Marine just going to sit and pick through the pylon over here. Obviously try and make it difficult for Harstem to take fourth base. Coffee has the double drop position to go into the main. There's two Stalkers in the Phoenix that are just kind of out of position a little bit. Starting more towards the top than the bottom side of this. Well, the Marines are going to be an issue because the Stalkers will die and then there's not really anything to deal with those Marines. Phoenix can't deal with them. Robo Bay in some trouble. Okay, here come the Colossus. They are going to be the saving grace of this fight. We try and fight a Colossus. That's never going to end well for you. As one medevac goes down, the other medevac tries to make a reposition, but we lose 3 of the Marines inside. And this is now pretty much dealt with as Harstem is dealing with the rest of this army. So just getting a little bit caught up in the multitasking of this fight that's been requested of him. That Colossus is in some danger, but we just about pull it back, even with the battery dead. It looks as though we're going to be okay as Harstem is fending Coffee off. And each time he fends Coffee back a little further, it is just going to be one step closer to Harstem seeing success. As that Bio Army escapes over the far right-hand side. Phoenix going to get some lifts off. Marauders and Widowmine getting lifted as well. We'll just see our continued cleanup happening. A couple more Marauders lifted again. Marines turn around first. Phoenix goes down. Second Phoenix taking shots. Widowmine connect as Zealot going down as well. Still got charging +1. On the way up on the side of Harstem. Phoenix and the Immortal coming through. A couple more High Templars coming up. Immortal is also on the way. Colossus firing. A few Marines going down. It's going to be seeing this army continuing down towards the bottom side as we continue to push. Widowmine burrows up right next to that sensor tower. Plus, they're still firing up a little bit of a storm there. The Widowmine gets picked off again. Gonna have a few more High Temple again warped in. +2 attack also in production. This army doing its best to just keep on pressing forwards now, as we are going to be seeing the Immortal, Colossus, doing what they can to just keep on pushing through. 2-2 upgrades are on the way out with additional Marines being built as well. Threaten the idea of a push up in towards the top side of this. The Wood Zealot's going to come through, pick off the sensor tower. Archons going to be taking some more damage as well. 22 SCVs going down. The first Colossus falls. Second Colossus being microed about a little bit. Don't get me wrong, Harstem did a great job here so far, and it is going to be good enough. I was just going to say, he was starting to lose some of the tech units. A little bit of micro obviously helped out, keeping a couple final ones alive, and that is going to be good enough for Harstem to take the win. And Harstem moves forwards into the next round of action today, where he's going to be playing against Creator and a little bit of PvP. This is going to become a very PvP-focused section of the bracket, as, by the way, Lancer 2-0 Lambo as well, so that's a result that happened. We might just go for the Harstem Creator matchup. Just because as I look down the bracket, I sort of look at this, and there's a lot of PvP anyway. So maybe we just go Harstem Creator, watch that PvP, and then we can just go from there. I feel like that just gives us something to cast like straight away, which is obviously good. So that's nice. Yeah, maybe we just do that. Maybe we just do that. Do, 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 do. So I think we're just going to wait for Creator and go Harstem vs Creator, guys. Jump into that as our next match. Some PvP on the way up. Perfect. Harstem comes in with the win over Coffee. And we'll get Harstem Creator going as soon as we have Creator showing up. Not sure how long that'll be, but hopefully not too long. Get that underway. Dum, dum, dum. So yeah. Maybe I'll go find Creator to help speed this process up a little bit. Making tell Creator to hop on over to America. He might just not know that his opponent's ready. Alright, alright, alright. Will I be on the desk at EWC2? Will I be on the desk? I have no idea. There is no announcement made about eSports World Cup talent. Down, 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 down. So yeah, Creator and Harstem should be videoing up, guys. Creator's telling Harstem how to to update the bracket, bro. Love it. I can start production, I guess, for this one. Give you guys a few minutes to bet some money on PvP. A couple of videos coming in. I'm getting ready to rumble. Hopefully in just a few moments we get this all started up. How's everyone doing? Make our way through the early matches. Things are feeling pretty decent. Yeah, hopefully you can get this Harstem Creator Series started. We're just getting some videos in very slowly. Site Delta, Post Youth, Amphibian Dynasty, Golden Aura, and Alcyone all vetoed, so we'll have Oceanborn. Actually, interesting set of maps outside of Oceanborn, right? Oceanborn, Ghost River. Actually, gonna be starting on Ghost River and Crimson Court. And there's just never a reason to veto Oceanborn, huh? Coco's ready, GLHFs are called, and we will kick off into this. We'll get this started up. And let's get into our next round. So, round 2 here of the games. As we make our way into Creator versus Harstem PvP action on the way up. Get this underway. Dive into it. In the top left hand side, it is going to be our blue Protoss player. This is Harstem. In the top right, our red Protoss is going to be Creator. Creator and Harstem for PvP actually should make for quite a fun clash. Kind of a difficult one to pick. I think Creator has been pretty much more kind of established and kind of more consistent lately. I guess we'll see if he can make it happen here against Harstem, who absolutely I think has the potential though to come in and win a match and make things interesting. So we will see. So a couple of gates coming up, Cybercore on the way through, Pylons building, obviously right now seeing a very standard opening to PvP, which is going to be the 2 gateways each, so we get 2 gates on both sides of the map. Get that set up, ready to begin. Pylon about to finish, probe still moving around, again gates and the Cybercores all coming online. Just get that up and running. Again, Wolfgate Sentry coming up. A couple more Stalkers on the way out here from Creator as well. Getting those going as a Pylon drops down on the low ground. And Probe will nibble the other probe for a little bit. So yeah, 2 sentries. Just coming out here from Harstem, so that's going to be our difference in the early game. 2 sentries versus the 2 stalkers. Two sentries coming up over on the side of Creator. We're just going to be seeing the Nexus coming through, and the 2 stalkers will actually go poking across the other side. So coming across to the top left-hand side, Robo Facility's already on the way up from Creator. The Nexus is building, the sentry about to finish. Warp Gate's built on both sides as well. Stalker's able to get rid of 1 sentry and going to keep the pressure up as we continue to put some action into play. Still nibbling here, a bit more back and forth. Stalker joins up with the other sentries. Robo Facility on both sides. That's a force field, and that's a dead Stalker, at the very least in the front line. So that first Stalker goes down, the other Stalker gets hunted away. Pushed back for the moment. That robotics facility is coming up and online. Just going to bring that through. Robo Facility coming in, the sentry popping up. Adept also coming by as well. I mean, again, just the early game. As the gateway units don't look to do too much in the end, we both ended up on 3 sentries. This should just be an expansion versus expansion setup. And with the robos up as well, really difficult to imagine either player really seeing too much aggressive success. Harstem will be faster to the Twilight Council. He went Prism without an Immortal. Adjust is going to move up into the natural and toward the main base. Prison Pops comes over the side. We will see more units of Creator continue to come across the left-hand side, and it's going to be seeing our sentries just going to nibble at that prism, pushing it back as the Stalkers will be in position to deal with the Adepts as they move on through. Right, then Prism and the Stalkers continue to move across, still having our units of Creator here gathering together a little bit. Forcefield's going to go down, obviously with the Immortal already here, that's a massive help. Harstem's trying to get into Glaives, whereas Creator has not wasted time building into anything off of Twilight Council. Both probes going down on the other side as the Adepts get going, but that means that Harstem's missing the Prism from over at home. He's up 9 workers. He really just needs to get units out. The Immortal on the way, but Super Bounty's now falling down a little bit. You've seen the Adepts going down. A couple of them dropping. The probes getting stuck. They need to get in the front here if they're going to truly fight this. I do not think Harstem has enough power, man. The Adepts coming in still from Creator, so he can get rid of probes very quickly and easily. He has been losing probes himself, so Harstem still has a 6-worker lead. But now Harstem has basically no units. He needed the Immortal big time. And Creator's going to take the 1-0 lead. It is going to be Creator taking the 1-0 advantage. Alright, I'm going to go game number 2 then, guys, in just a sec and see if Harstem can pull it back, as Creator just hits him with the timing there. Does not really give him much of a chance to play setup. This one kind of comes to a crashing halt very early on. As second game coming in on Crimson Court. Actually kind of a fun map then. Waiting for Harstem to jump out of a lobby. Sorry, out of the replay so we can host the lobby. Look at me being all proactive, hosting lobbies and stuff and keep the players moving. Bam, bam, bam. Go, ready. Alright, let's kick this off, guys. We're set to play. Game number 2 here as Creator has the 1-0 lead. Looking to make a run against Classic in the next round. Round of 16 is what lies ahead, and that, like I say, would be Classic. Fireflies moved through in his match. I think that may have been Silky he played against. So Firefly is in the round of 16 as well already. So some results starting to come in as we jump into the bottom left side of Crimson Court with the Crimson Protoss player This is Harstem in the bottom left, representing the Shopify Rebellion. Top right, our blue Protoss player. Up 1 is 0. This is Creator. Pro just coming across the map. As we will see here. I'm expecting to see 2 gates. I mean, we'll see if Creator tries to play a 1 gate expand. That could be interesting if Harstem gets aggressive against it. Just gonna get a Zealot. Get up and rolling. Just gonna have our Cybercore coming through, Zealot on the way. So yeah, we are just gonna have a Creator able to expand quickly. And Harstem's now got to make a choice against the 1 gate. Does he want to try and punish this? Or is he just gonna try and expand himself with a 2nd gate, so he'll have a couple more units but a later expansion? Now Pro moves up to the high ground. Gate starts. Now is the blocking from Harstem to try and delay as much as possible. With his own sentry on the way, that takes away any real option to kind of put down a tech structure, so much more likely than we are seeing Harstem expanding in the near future instead. Stargate finishing from Creator, so he's just going to be on that Stargate before expanding, which is pretty normal as well. Obviously, MaxPacks, big fan of this. Getting the Stargate up gives you a lot of versatility in being able to defend and just everything else that you would need to have when it comes to setting up in this PvP with an expansion. So we get that up and rolling and get that all set. Focus is going to be producing through. The Zealot actually walked all the way across the map from Creator and actually finds himself a couple of kills. Well, 1 kill, the other kill went somewhere else, but there's even still a few probes running around, and 1 probe absolutely guaranteed dead by that Zealot. Not bad at all. Uncle shows up, just going to go for the Stasis Sword here. Harstem pulls the probes. Correct call. Instant kill. Still got a couple of hallucinations popping through. The Stalkers and the Sentry still pressing forward. Oh, and I love the hallucinations here. Always a great way to tank. And right now they are the only things taking damage. The 2 hallucinated Stalkers do great. Still alive. Finally again taken down. But that could have been 2 real Stalkers instead. 2 hallucinations are dead. The battery out of energy. Oracle will go down, and it's Harstem with the timing window here to get some serious damage done. Super battery pops, and that will save Oracle too. More Stalkers popping up. Twilight Count's still on the way in. Stalker and a battery coming up on the front of the natural as well, so we get that on the way here. Units of Harstem continue to move toward the front. One more Stalker going down. This is looking as though Harstem has just done well enough on the timing windows here and is looking to take this game. He's not going to get through that Stalker before the battery finishes, but it doesn't really matter. The battery is not good enough to keep that Stalker alive. Oracle going to come back in, but it's out of energy. GG says Creator, and we're going to go to game number 3 of this best of 3. So we're going to get the full distance in the series. Well, it's fantastic to see, and Harstem fighting it back and absolutely giving us something to cheer on for him as we get to game 3 then. So game 3 coming through in just a couple moments. We'll get that underway. And it's going to be on Oceanborn, so we will get to Oceanborn in the end. Is it really a best of 3 if Oceanborn doesn't get played? Alright, hosting up, just waiting for everyone to accept the invites in, guys. Again, I hope you're all doing great today. Welcome to the Kung Fu Cup. Thanks for joining us as we are ready to resume. Game 3, Creator ready, Harstem ready. Let's go into Oceanborn and see what goes down. Let's get this one started on up. Clem's advanced, by the way, to his next round. He plays Geralt or Sola. So that would be a match we'd love to get into. Spirit also going to play Shin or DNS. That's also fun. Like I say, Classic plays the winner of this series, but that might just be enough PvP for me. That might be time for us to move into another matchup. So we'll see, though. We'll see how it all goes. Right now, let's dive into the bottom right-hand corner, where we're going to start off with the red Protoss player. He tied it up just now. Can he take it to a victory? It is Harstem from the Shopify Rebellion here on Oceanborn. Top left, blue Protoss. We have Creator. Game number 3, then we go to our final map to decide who gets to advance on between these two. Classic, another Trixie Protoss in that next round. Something for us to watch out for. Well, probe going to be coming through. We do have the next coming up. The gateways are coming about here. Get settled into play. First few moments looking cozy. Yeah, it's going to be that fast expand from Creator. Harstem with the second gateway. Will he decide to be aggressive against this? He has got a probe on the map, but he's already built a pylon to the bottom, so unless that's going to be a fake, and then you actually proxy as well, but that would be more pylons than he really needs, I imagine. Stalker sentry on the way from Harstem is, like I say, the expansion is very quick this time around. Harstem finally seeing what he is up against with this probe, and he will pull back, and it's time to make the decision. Looks as though he's going to build a pylon. Yeah, I was going to say, I just got the feeling that he's going to try and punish this. It does look like that's going to be the case as the pylon goes down. Most likely a robo facility. It's pretty much 9 times out of 10 the best way to punish this. We should see a robo on the way up. Defensively from Creator, that's probably one of the best ways. If you go Nexus, then Tech, Robo typically helps you out more than Stargate. Stargate, then Teching is obviously... Stargate Nexus is then usually a pretty good way to get an Oracle up and into a Void if needed. I feel like if you build a Stargate now, just start building Voids, I would have rather just seen the Robo and the Immortal, right? So, let's see what Creator wants to do. There's 2 more gates come down from Harstem, so he's just going to play 3 gates at the moment. So not even... He's actually going to play 4 gates. A straight up 4 gates, super fast attack. Very overpowering. And Robo on the way from Creator, but I wonder if... I mean, it's just such a fast expansion. I mean, you see a gateway here as Creator, so you know something is coming. Again, for Harstem, this is all about number of units. He's going to have a lot of units. And he's going to be powering up big time, as he would love to try and force some early damage here already. The first force fields of his are going to be very important too. Trap some units. Could play a big role in this, so... Something else to keep in mind is Warp Gate is now coming up online here. And Warpins will speed up. And it is time for Harstem to fully send this, as he is on a timing window before that Robo facility pops out an Immortal. That's going to be the first tough part of this for Harstem. The game doesn't end at that point, as we do see some hallucinations being used. Harstem should be able to identify that as he starts to trade. His Sentry taking some damage, and obviously Harstem doesn't have the batteries like his opponent does. Harstem has to go through these batteries at the moment. Going to target the Stalkers on the bottom side. Love that, because those Stalkers are out of reach of that final battery. Zealot goes down as well. Extra Stalkers show up from Harstem. The Immortal halfway done from Creator. Fake Stalkers. At this point, I feel like you should be able to identify that those Stalkers are not real when they're kind of just left on the bottom side, not being microed. Creator does a little bit of back and forth jiggling. He's about to have his Immortal. One more warp in from Harstem, and this is going to have to be it. The moment to try and break through, because he's likely here going to have to take down an Immortal in this attempt now. Adepts will threaten to come up. That's going to wall the Immortal out, though. Okay, the Adepts are going to keep the Immortal busy, letting the Stalkers take a fight on their own terms for a little bit. I actually love that. So now the Immortal is going to have no barrier on it either. We chase for the Immortal. We get the Immortal. It's going to keep Harstem alive for another wave of this push, perhaps, but I'm just not sure if it's strong enough. Stalkers getting some other Stalker kills. A few more Stalkers warping in. The Zealot coming through with this as well. The Stalkers continue to push. Our probes going down. We're not going to be seeing the batteries doing whatever healing they can. The few probes in the front will continue to drop. Of course, probes don't really matter. You can rebuild those with the base lead. An Immortal out, another one already built, and I just do not think this has been good enough from Harstem at all. Creator got to that Immortal nice and swiftly, and has been able to defend here. Just able to buy enough time on this low ground. It was nice that Harstem was able to dispatch of that first Immortal the first time around. Just, like I say, do not see that happening a second time at this point, as we try and deal with the Immortal, trying to kite backwards so it can't hit the Stalkers. Super Battery is available, and that pretty much is the nail in the coffin for Harstem in this game, and hence this series. Another force field. Stalkers still being chased away, and the aggression of Harstem is going to get completely shut down. Chased away and pushed back. When you're the one on the run, it's never going to look good for you, and that is going to be GG's to round us out there. Skillous 2-1 Uthel is a result. That's Skillous moving through to that next round. Solo leads 1-0 over Geralt. If that series finishes, the winner plays Clem. I actually think that'd be a really cool section to jump into. So maybe we go into that. Maybe we just wait for Solo Geralt to wrap up, and then we can go from that. Like I say, winner plays Clem seems pretty exciting to me. So I think maybe that is what we are going to do in these next few moments, guys. So I think we'll get that ready to rumble. Perfect. So some ZVT most likely coming up, unless Geralt can pull the upset back off over Sola and turn that series around. It does look good for Sola right now, though, so I gotta go grab myself a drink and stuff, guys. We'll be back in a few moments. More StarCraft 2 is on the way here in today's Kung Fu Cup. We'll be back after this. Welcome back, guys. So, what's currently going on is that Solar is, I actually think not. It's kind of close against Geralt. Geralt might be able to steal this game off of him. But either way, I think we're going to try and go into Solar Geralt and follow the winner versus Clem. So if it goes to game 3, we'll go there. If Solar wins, we'll just follow him straight in versus Clem. God, just have to attack into lurkers. That was super fun. I think Solo's going to win this. So I think we're probably going to have Solo versus Clem coming up. It's happening on a couple of different non-English streams right now, as far as I'm aware. So yeah, definitely a fun match to follow up, though. If Solo is going to play Clem, rematch from Monday's ESL Open Cup Korea Finals. That was a big 5-game series. If you missed that one, it was a lot of fun. Just waiting, like I say, current game to finish, and then we'll be able to get into our next one. Go from there. Do. Solo looks to me to be getting into more comfortable positions, so I think we are just waiting for this game to end pretty much, guys. Get into our next one. Cool. At least that tells us a little bit about where we're going and what we're kind of expecting to jump into here. Definitely just sort of makes sense for us to go into that. Yeah, Solo wins out. So Solo's going to be taking on Clem up next. So I believe we go to the Korean server for that one. Perfect. I'll hop over to Korea and get ready for Solo versus Clem. Best of 3 action coming through, guys, in just a couple. Yeah, we'll get Solo versus Clem coming up in just a few guys. Just waiting for the guys to obviously veto and stuff there. We've just gotten going. Cool. Alright, so that TVZ's coming up. Solo versus Clem. Banger of a matchup. Looking forward to it. We'll be into it very shortly here. Got this ready to go. Dum dum. Okay, Clem vs Solar. Just waiting for them to veto. And we'll be off and away, guys. I guess we can put predictions up. Got them predictions back on track. Beautiful stuff. Love to see it. I'm thinking map number 1 here. Alright, Clem Solar, DVZ, best of 3. Coming up in just a second. What a fun matchup this is. And we saw the other day, Solar really seemed to have Clem's number in any of the longer games. So, it'll be interesting to see if Solar can keep that up, or if Clem has an answer to that. Because it was really the aggression in the early times that were catching Solar off in the best of 5 that they played in the finals of ESL Open Cup Korea. And also Solar trying to be aggressive and it not working out, and Clem successfully defending. Like I said, it'll be very interesting to see what this series looks like, having, played a, pretty safety best of 5 against each other just a couple days ago. Will there be any switches or change-ups? We'll find out very soon. Let's hop into it as we have this best of 3 starting up right here, right now. Our red Terran play in the top left corner of the map is going to be Team Liquid's Clem. Was a beautiful sight to see in our games, always fun to watch. Excited to see if his time in Korea is going to pay off for him coming into that eSports World Cup next month. As we have in the bottom left corner of the map from Vitality, the blue Zerg player, Solar. Game number 1, and like I say, I feel as though Solar is almost definitely going to have to stay away from the gonna have to stay away from the aggression, because that's the thing that Clem was really able to do very well against before. Shut down that aggression and go from there. And then kind of win games off of it, but he did struggle in the longer games, like I say. So, kind of interesting, because that wouldn't have been the way I expect things to go. As Yo Gnoi, how you doing? Thank you so much for the Prime sub for 30 months. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for resubscribing. Thank you for using the Prime on the channel. It really does help us keep on streaming and casting and producing the content. Thank you, thank you, thank you, as our Overlord continues to go moving up. It's going to come across the map here. Otherwise, we've got ourselves an SCV just traveling downwards on the map. So that SCV coming across the other way for the moment as well. Comes over, going to start hitting a couple of these drones. Ling's going to get popped around a little bit. As you have Ling's just going to go through. Reaper's going to get jumped onto there. Factory in the command center still coming up, and Ling's still chasing the Reaper away too. Moving back up top, couple CCs coming in. First drone though already taking some damage. This drone chasing this SCV away, as I guess that's just an issue becoming a third base. One drone has died. Sorry, one Zergling has died. So Reaper continues to escape all the way up to the top. Again, that link speed still coming through. A few more drones coming up from Solar. Queen on the way out as well. Our hatchery still producing. So Reaper just turns back around. CC and the racks coming in. The Hellions are still producing on through as well. Getting everything set here in game number 1 of this best of 3. Oh, Ling's now going to get catch on that Reaper. Not quite. Obviously, they have speed. The dance of the Reaper can be pretty nice. Actually pops a few links further away. He says that's enough for me to justify running for it. And the Reaper gets to the Hellions. Cool bit of micro there out of Clem as he does successfully escape. And that's, like I say, very nicely done. As the Reaper and the two Hellions now going to come back down towards the bottom side. A couple Queens are going to be there. Links still joined up together. And we do have Stimpack about halfway done as well at the moment, as Queens will be there to push back as much as possible. Trying to help deny anything else kind of building off of this is a little bit of creep taking a little bit of grenade damage. Some more Marines coming around, Orbital Command finishing up. Factory is getting a reactor on the go and a couple of mules drop into that natural as well. Medevac, Marines, Stimpack all coming through. The armory is still on the way out as we have Hellions and the Reaper also making their way about, trying to come over to the right-hand side. Well, that Rax is coming through. The armory is still coming up. Hellion and Marines are in production. Stimpack is about to be done as well, so we got that stim completed. Means to be active in the forward position. 1-1 upgrades coming through on the side of Solar. So already just going to be seeing Solar moving through. Clem's finishing the armory, so you will have a Marine Hellbat timing here. This is similar to what he was doing a little bit of, on Monday in that ESL Open Cup Finals. The Queens pull back a little further now, and the Hellions morph into Hellbats. This is just where Solar being quite greedy, right? Evo Chambers before Bane Nest. This is where he might face some trouble, but the Queen count is good. The Ling count is very low, but there are Lings now starting to spawn in. Let's see what the Queens can do, as they need to put in a lot of work here, because, quite frankly, there's not a lot of, honestly, not that many transfusions even available. Medevac has to pull back a little bit. We're going to start getting rid of these Queens. A lot of Marines remaining. If these Queens start dropping, they really are the defense at the moment. A few more Lings showing up. I think that's going to be good enough. Oh, we're going to get rid of a few more Queens now, though. It's such a fine line. Suddenly, the Queens start dropping very quickly because they've got no HP left. And Clem is up the left ramp, gets a couple Queens there, finds that Overlord as well. It's not going to have an immediate impact. We'll turn it into a scan and some creep clearing movements. As now 2 more Hellbats just showed up as well. This is the problem, because now you don't have the Queens kind of as a consistency kind of unit here. So it's just the Lings that are running in, but Lings running into Hellbats does not trade great. These Hellbats still trying to make their way to a mineral line. That might not be allowed to happen, but yeah, you're still kind of threatening, and only just now is Solar going to be able to start droning once again. Clem with success here at these early points of this, as we do see a bit of micro. That Medevac is super low, but cute micro from Clem as he plays the pickup game. Yeah, it was cute for a while, eventually just kind of ran out of fortunes though, as the other Lings come across. A few Marines are stibbing again. Solar will hold on, and now Solar will have 1-1 upgrades to help him out, so that greed of playing the 1-1 melee upgrades early is now going to start actually benefiting from him a little bit. Does he have the money to go straight into 2-2? He really does, yes. So he should be able to start 2-2 pretty much immediately and maintain that upgrade lead. And that's going to give him multiple points throughout this game, where he's actually going to have that upgrade lead and that better position to play forward from. No Summer Bash games today? No Summer Bash games today. Summer Bash will be back tomorrow for Group D. Maybe a little bit of Group C as well. Kind of depends on how big a stream I'm feeling. As a couple Hellbats go down, Marines are going to continue to fire it up. Ling Bane still moving through. The Queen's going to still stay and try and stand their ground as well. Again, that 1-1 about to finish up from Clem. As the Medevacs, Marines, Widow Mines all coming through. The factory online as well. Extra barracks coming up. The Marines turn back around. Queen's still taking some damage. Ling Bane still gathering. It's another Ling getting picked up. Cluster attack is already on the way up. We do have the Queen still firing up a storm. Marines wanting to press on forward. A couple creep teamers going down. The Lings actually dart past and going to go towards Marines in a Widow Mine. Continue to play the back and forth game. We go one way, we go the other. Widow Mine's going to unburrow, reburrow here. What are the Banelings going to do? They're just going to blow them up, so the Widow Mines don't even get to go off. Clem is maintaining a slight supply lead, but this is what Solar is masterful at, just not quite dying. And just keeping himself alive for those little bits of time longer. If you stay alive long enough, you get to lurkers, and then the game completely turns on its head. Queens, Lings, Hydras, Banes all joined up together again. We do have our Marines looking to move forward a little bit. Queens will take some damage. A couple of Banes gonna take a few shots as well. Lings and Hydras looking to play the follow-up game as well. On top of that, Hydra's still going to be there. Medivacs chased away for the moment. Just going to be seeing these SCVs coming back through as the Banes crash in. 6 workers going down. Marines still pressing, as we do have the Ling Bane still moving about as well. 2-2 upgrades coming in. The drilling clause is about halfway done. Wouldn't mind shot going off onto a little bit of that Ling Bane as well, so just finding a little extra here so far. Our Marine's still going to press on forwards. The Queen pushed back for the moment. Drilling clause 2-2. Just coming about. We do see our Marines still firing. Queen's taking some shots. A few more Banelings going down. Banes are still making their way across here. Again, the drilling clause coming up. The 2-2 upgrades coming about. Our Marines are firing up on some more Lings. We have the Planetary Fortress on the way as our Bane Hydra coming through. The Widowmine shoots. That's going to be picking off a few of those Banes as well. And our army here from Clem would love to try and get back down to the bottom right side. Well, Clem still keeps the pressure going. The Hive is about to finish in here from Solo. He does have the Lurker Den. Obviously would like some Lurker upgrades before he really tries to commit to Lurkers in a fight. And we just have Widowmines going off across the board on this. The rest of the bio still trying to come around and just take action as we have run out of Banelings. There's only one left in the back, but I think we've actually got enough Hydras to kind of stand and fight against this amount of units. Clem would need reinforcements to break through, and that's going to give Solo time to get new Banelings on the way. He's also going to prioritize a couple of Vipers, which I love to see. A couple of Vipers go a long way to helping out as well, for sure. Libs, Marines, a Marauder coming up, +3 attack coming through. Those Medivacs are going to go boosting over to the left-hand side. Another command center onto the top right. Oh, Clem's still trying to drop on the left, so has a bigger push on the right side, but the Lurkers are starting to come online. Okay, that's set up as a Widowmine shot goes off onto a moving Baneling. The bio still moving about, the Ling Bane Hydra coming about as well. 3 upgrades coming through. Our Widowmines are going to fire up. Lings, Hydra's taking big shots. Overseer's going to get blown up during this. Overseers are not a cheap replacement, actually, so not bad to take those down. He's going to find a chance to get rid of this Lurker. We're going to load up a few more of those Marines. The Liberator on the right side goes down to the Hydralisks. And the drone's actually going to get back to mining bottom right, but there's actually still a Liberator there as Clem makes a dive up through the center. Army supply is heavily in his favor, and I think Solo is struggling with the numbers right now. Just doesn't quite have enough. As the Banelings, though, crash through. Mostly hitting Marauders, and Clem just evacuates away. I mean, at least the Lurkers stop Clem from dropping immediately and coming back in. He's going to try and target fire down. The Lurker Den here, that will not be successful. A Baneling hit dead center on the Marines. Took a lot of their power away as he tries to dive into Lurkers here. He gets one of them. Again, it's just that Hydralisk count a little bit too high to kind of continue to justify pushing further into again and again. A 3-3 of Clem continuing to build up, so he will take an upgrade lead here eventually as well. Not far from having +3 attack already. And then the +3 armor is, what, about 30 seconds, 40 seconds behind it, so not looking bad there at all. Fire still fighting. A couple of these Banelings still getting knocked down. Widowmine gets taken out as well. Viper goes on the consuming train, consuming up the hatchery at the moment. Bio coming back through. The Lurkers taking a lot of shots. Snipers coming by. Obviously, more snipes just means more efficiency from Clem, who is very patient in this game. Does not feel the need to really send this too quickly. Does not need, feel the need to just fully kind of commit and just never look back. He's ready to just play this out as long as he needs to, and just little by little, snipe by snipe, win this. And great job of it as that bio still gathers up. Yeah, still playing coming through. The +1 vehicle playing coming up as well. We do have a missile turret about to finish from Clem. A bit of bio still moving around, and Ghost still ready to snipe as well. Lurkers, Lings, +2 missiles coming up. Packs will load up and just going to boost away while Clem is still around the left-hand side. Again, potential snipes here on these lurkers. Already lining a couple up. One lurker on the left side goes down quickly. Actually have a couple of these lurkers low HP but not killed off, but yeah, we need Solo to kind of show up with everything else to actually play the cleanup game now. Snipe, and 2 lurkers actually go down. This time it's going to be 1 more as well. Now the ghosts are really raining in the damages. It's not just damage anymore. Now it's actually netting kills. And each lurker that goes down is one little bit less defense that you have a Solo, as he's going to get a Nidus up. He didn't even have anything in position on the Nidus, so I think the Nidus will just die without doing anything, despite going up, completely freely in the main base. Yeah, now he brought a couple of lurkers across. He actually got 1 burrowed, and the ghosts have to back away. So he did get a couple units in there eventually, but of course it was not quick. And now Clem's had plenty of time to get units in position to deal with it, so he might lose some ghosts, but it's cost Solo a bunch of lurkers at the same time. So it really has not been anything great at all. Solo is sitting on the 5 bases against the 5-base Terran, which also is never really a good thing as a Zerg. You're typically trading worse, which means we want to be mining a whole lot more. And we're not really doing that right now. And as the +2 vehicle plane comes up, the advanced ballistics continues in also. Being Hydra moving through, another Wood of Mine shot, and a couple of Lings going down. The Ling is still trying to move forward there, but the bio is in position to turn those around quickly as we are going to start moving through. A couple of lurker shots coming in, the ghosts sniping up wherever and however they can. Still moving through, just going to be seeing the Ghost Academy getting picked up. And Baneling's going to continue through as well. It is just continuing to be Solo bleeding out in supply. He's actually going to just see Clem committing to this fight. Yeah, he's right too. Wasn't enough Banelings to truly scare him away, and that is going to do it. Clem pushes through for 170, 120 to supply lead. GG's, says Solo. And Clem is going to win this one and take it to a 1-0 lead in the best of 3, just like that. So Clem gets up to a 1-0 advantage as we get ready for a game number 2. Yeah, that's set to rumble in just a few moments. Clem's going to host up our lobby. It's Site Delta for our maps. The second game coming in here in just a second. Get this underway. As I guess we can also maybe take a quick little check at what the bracket is looking like. Skillous playing Trigger in the round of 16. MaxPacks beat Sue 2-0, so he's our first quarter finalist. Milky Cow beat Nightmare, so he's playing ByuN for a spot in the round of 8 against MaxPacks. Trap against Firefly. Skillous vs Trigger are both round of 16. Spirit waiting for Shin and DNS to finish. Spirit would play the winner of this series in the round of 8. Creator already 2-0 Classic. He plays Mana or Gumiho, as Mana came through Yeshi, Gumiho came through Goblin. Solar is set as Terran, which means you have to regame this one, guys. Will just be an extra moment or two. Yeah, starting to shape up into a pretty interesting set of quarterfinals. Just that Shin, DNS, Spirit section of the bracket seems to be lagging behind at the moment, so try and catch back up on that at some point. As we get ready to go into Site Delta. Round 2, or attempt to. Clem versus Solar. Go, go, go. Ready, ready. And everyone is going to try and come into this with the correct races this time around. The reason you start up wrong race sometimes is if you get invited to a lobby and there's not a player spot, so you go into the spectator slot and then you get dragged into the player slot, it doesn't remember the last race you had selected if you've been in the spectator slot. So If you join the lobby via, you know, and go into like spectator slot, then go into the main slot, it just doesn't work out too well for you. And sometimes players just forget that. And it's easily done, right? You focus up on, you know, getting into the game and getting ready to play. It's not a big deal. Quick reboot host, and we are back at it. In the top left-hand side, our red Terran player from Team Liquid. This is Clem. Taking on our blue Zerg in the bottom right side, Solar. Alright, well, Barracks gas coming up, SCV on the way. I'm going to go low ground barracks here from Clem, so potentially going to be seeing some of that early game some of that early game Reaper play. So just going to get that up and online. Get that rough through for a little bit. Match casting pool coming up. Again, a couple barracks on the way. SCV building. Get this up and running. Well, first Reaper popping out, second barrack is going to finish up, and second Reaper will start as well. So just going to get that underway. Yeah, Reaper gonna fight a few lings, taking some damage. Honestly, Reapers will start to fight here for a little bit. Reapers will fight. Hatch will still take some damage. Gonna be seeing the Hatch still taking some hits. Is again very close to going down. I'm just gonna see a couple more grenades continuing to come through there. And these Reapers are absolutely having a great time back up in this main base. Link speed done and still controlling the space, trying to get as many pickoffs as we possibly can right here. The more we get, the happier we're going to be at the end of this as the Reapers dive deep into the main. Going to go for a few more lings. Another decent grenade. We turn around again. Another grenade that's going to hit well. It actually has continued to do great. How are we finally losing a Reaper? I was going to say we hadn't lost a Reaper still. Finally, 2 go down, now 3, and now they all start come crashing down. But my goodness. 20 lings and a drone. I feel like we had no right doing that amount of damage, and yet here we are. Damn. Wasn't that just a little bit crazy? Wasn't that just a little bit crazy? Yes, it was, is the answer. Marines continuing up, Stimpack on the way, a few SCVs, Queens, drones all coming out, another Overlord on the way through as well. We're going to see our factory continuing to get set up. Orbital Command will move down towards the third base. A few more drones coming through. Queen popping up. Stim back on the way. Again, tank, marines, artifacts coming by. We do have the engineering base also in production currently. So just continue to bring that through. The medevacs will be unloading and the overlord here will go down. There's Clem. Let's see, ready to get across the map and start putting some further pressure on. Even if that's just starting to deny some of the creep spread, it is time for him to get out there and to get something done. Marines unload from the medevacs. Come back around the right. Overlord getting chased away a little. 1-1 upgrades and combat shield both on the way up. Lab, Baneling Nest, a few more Zerglings coming through. There goes the Overlord. We scan it up. We're going to get rid of a couple creep teamers already. Queens will be there to push those Marines back at a moment's notice, and those Marines get shoved back immediately, so a little bit of a step back on that one. Medevacs will work their way around the left-hand side. Marines continue to unload. The Lings are setting up down on the low ground. A hatchery going to be here as well in the 6 o'clock. Then Overlord gets pigged. That's going to be a supply block for Solar. So, it's certainly not great as we do have the 4th base cancelled. Great start for Clem. A supply block for Solar, and he gets a cancelled 4th. I think Clem's got to be pretty darn happy about this right now, no? That's pretty great early on. That much is for sure. Marines coming back and forth. We are going to be having the Ling Bane trying to push up this ramp and to push this away. The medevacs load. We are going to start retreating through as the upgrades continue up on the side of Clem's. Then 1-1 upgrades continue by Armory, Factory, couple more reactors. All of that continuing into play for the moment. Marines is going to unload. Siege tank settling down as a couple of creep teamers get picked off. There's a bunch of creep spread we can still get rid of here as well in front of the 4th, which is just going to make it a little easier to keep fighting into this position as Clem. He gets all the creep teamers. As we do see the Lings coming in for the flank, a couple of Banes as well. We get rid of all the Banes on the low ground. That's never a good sign because it means that Solar does not have splash damage against Marines. You kind of need that as the Ling Bane continues to come through. Target fire again. We don't get all the Banes this time. Clem will be forced to lift up. 1-1 to 0-0. 2-2. Drilling Claw is still on the way in from Clem. We continue to bring that through as the medevacs and Marines continue up as well. Bringing all of that into play right now. He's going to go running tank, going to be firing. These Banes in a bit better number now, but that one tank on that high ground is once again going to cause concerns. It's going to be so good being able to deal some damage. Marines will fight once again. Hatchery still taking some shots. Bane still moving to the upper left side. 2-2 upgrades, vehicle plating, drilling claws. All of that being brought through. Our Lings will continue by and jumping onto the mineral line. SCVs will start dropping as well. Our medevacs come in and they actually grab themselves. Is that a spawning pool that died? Yes, it is. It starts to rebuild now, so spawning pool has dropped. Fire going to come back down the right. A few of those Lings going to be in some trouble. Widowmine gets burrowed. Lings. Widowmine gets a great shot. Just trails across onto the Lings. Clem is just getting a little bit too much momentum behind him right now, and I think Solar's going to really start struggling, especially as 2-2 kicks in. There's going to be some very efficient fights ahead from Clem, put it that way. And with some very efficient fights ahead of us, I just struggle to see Solar being able to do much to kind of contest that. But like I say, Solar oftentimes is the king of just hanging on in there and not quite going down, not quite letting this all fall apart, so maybe there is still a way. 2-2 about to finish. The Bio pushing forwards. The Widowmine setting up. See a little scan through. A couple of these Queens beginning to drop. Coming in again, more of the Sling Bane still crashing forward. The Hydras and the Banes would love to get through here. And so much bio. You kind of need these Banelands to guaranteed reach the Marines, because if they don't, this Marine force is just going to absolutely crush you. It's going to be devastating as the Bio Force knocks down another hatchery over on that right-hand side. Still standing here, a few more Banelings going down. We actually crushed through this, and Clem will just refuse to lose a fight. There's a couple of Banes on the high ground that will show up. I mean, again, this is the power of 2-2 to 1-1 as well, and units are just melting so quickly that it's just impossible for Solar to really justify standing and fighting, and yet he has no real other option. GG, Clem with the 2-0. Going to pick up this win. Going to be a big one for Clem. I think that's very, very impressive, especially considering the other day it was a bit more of a struggle against Solar. Coming in today, just looking good like that. Definitely a bit of a statement being made as Clem moves to the round of 8. Plays against Shin or Spirit. I'm not sure if that's already started. I'm trying to see if there's anything else interesting going on right now. I wonder if we can catch Shin Spirit and then just follow the winner in versus Clem. Spirit is winning from Mana or Gumiho. I'm trying to get to the American server as quickly as I can. I started 2 minutes ago. Ah, it's unlucky. It's unlucky. Yo, what's up, Bailmon? 1065, thank you so much for the 30-month resub on the Prime. Appreciate it. We are getting back towards 500 subs, guys. If you want to help us out with that, you can hit that Prime button and subscribe here on Twitch, or you can sub regularly. All of it helps. Trying to get back to 500 so you can continue to run and support events. So do check that out. If you want to support in general, obviously following the stream. If you're on YouTube, subscribing, liking the video as well actually really does help, because more people find the video if it gets liked by people. So some easy things you can do to help us out freely. So Roddy's doing Milky Cow versus ByuN. Winner of that plays MaxPacks. I think that's probably just going to be Roddy's section. PvP City and Trap Firefly Skillous trigger, so I kind of want to avoid that. I guess we wait for Mana Gumiho and Shin Spirit, and we'll just wait for one of those and just go into whichever one we can. Gumiho was in a replay a second ago, so I wonder if we actually have a Mana Gumiho result, or maybe they have another game. It would be great if we can just get jumped into something already. Mana's hosting a lobby, let's do that. Perfect. Don't really have much other choice right now. As we get ready to go, Mana's up 1-0 apparently. No one else joining this lobby? No one? Going once, going twice. Mana leading 1-0. No one wants to join? Just gonna be me, Mana, and Gumiho. Juaim, thank you so much for the fresh news subscription. I probably murdered your name, but appreciate the fresh sub. Thank you so very much for supporting the stream today. As we get ready to go into this Mana Gumiho game. So it's going to be game 2. Mana leads 1-0. It just means that we're straight into something to cast at the very least, and we can somewhat attempt to minimize the downtime on the stream. Games on screen is better than nothing on screen. As in the top left, a Blue Protoss player coercing himself into a 1-0 lead in this series, apparently. That's freaking awesome. This is Mana in the top left corner of the map. Top right, our Red Terran player, it's going to be Gumiho. So game number 2, we get this up and running. Hello, refinery coming up. The barracks on the way in. Gateway, barracks, refinery coming up, SCV coming through. Our probe continues to come about as well. Let's just have that barracks finishing very shortly. And the SCV will go probe hunting for a couple of moments. And that Nexus coming up, the warp gate will be able to go soon as the Cybercore comes online. And we just look to see what exactly the main plan is going to be as we get all of this up and running here. Did Clem win the best of 5? It wasn't a best of 5, it was just a best of 3. Clem did win. He did win the other day in the best of 5, if that's what you mean. So, well, I should complete the prediction. As our Reaper just comes through and grabs a cheeky little probe kill, it's just going to get that pick off made. And our Reaper will continue to move around then for the moment to try and just see what else is going on. So our Reaper on the move. Cyclone coming out from Gumiho as well. I really wonder what happened in Game 1 for Mana to take the lead in the series. Gumiho can be such a trickster of a Terran player. So, kind of interesting to see him. In this sort of a setup right now. Product Council is building. The Cyclone and Marines coming about. Starport in production. Captain the Stalker will move forwards and just going to go for some shots off on the Reaper as it gets pushed back. And we'll see Mana arriving on this natural with there being no defense. But the Stalker going to get caught from the Cyclone from the behind. Oh. Well, I actually think this is because the Cyclone came in from the flank. The Stalker really believed it could kind of move forwards there. And then the Cyclone gets the catch, and pretty much means that the Stalker can't run backwards and away, can only ever run further into the base, so it forever remains trapped. Cyclone comes to the top again. Blink is continuing through the Robo facility building. Medevac, Cyclone, and Marine all producing. We will have Gumiho with potential to push across the map. First couple of gateway units get cleaned out, and you absolutely can get towards the other side now. Maybe try and make a little bit of something of this. Here's the Cyclones just moving through. Cyclone's going to get a kill. Probe goes down. Blink is still building as the Robo facility finishes shortly. And Cyclone's going to lock on, and Marines going to be there, but the Medevac goes down immediately. Great defense from Mana. Now he can hunt, and he's going to go forwards. Get rid of the Cyclones. They're the bigger threat right now. Obviously, it's nice to get rid of the constant damage output that these Marines are providing, but the Cyclones are the one thing that's really going to keep killing Stalkers. Yeah, we shove them away. Can we justify chasing this Cyclone? Mana seems to think so, as it takes another turn. Stalkers hunting, hunting, hunting. They're going to get it in the end, so that Cyclone will go down. These few Marines left over here, abandoned. Not much that they can really do. These Marines just going to jump onto this Nexus. Stalker's still putting some pressure in. There's a tank, though, and we lose one more Stalker. I tell you what, Mana had a good defense, but it wasn't clean. Lost a lot of Stalkers along the way here. Let's get rid of one more Marine. Couple Stalkers in the prison back over that right-hand side. These Stalkers hop into the prism. Over to the right-hand side we go. +1 stim pack continue through. The prism will look to unload. First SCV going down, second SCV picked off. We blink further up, and I love this damage. Gonna get a bunch of SCVs out of this, and obviously 4 Stalkers can lift straight back into the prism. Great damage done from Mana. He is absolutely bullying this game. Like I say, maybe wasn't the cleanest kind of defense of all times on the other side of the map, but he's absolutely putting the work in so far. And like I say, all these little bits of damage absolutely adding up. That Stalker needs to get back in the prism, sure, but I didn't actually get any more SCVs here. Sad because a couple of them were very low. Portal's building, charge on the way. The follow-up is looking great. Prism moving around down the center over to the right-hand side. The few Stalkers are going to follow. Medivacs load up, going to come down to the bottom. The Stalkers just going to keep coming through. Just going to be seeing the Bioforce starting to fight. A couple of Stalkers taking some shots. Auto turret's going to go down as well. Man, they're losing a lot of Stalkers though, and that's going to be rough for him. Gumiho comes across the maps. Man has just lost a lot of his supplemental kind of army that's going to go with the Colossus that he's building. So, real shame to be missing out on that. I'm just going to come straight over, and the Colossus in the worst place it could be at that moment. Jeez. Well, can the Zealots put in enough work here to kind of save the day for mana? He's got 2 Immortals. 2 Immortals can honestly still do pretty well, and they are going to get through for this next Siege Tank. The final Siege Tank is unsieged, so it can just pull back naturally. And that was not a pretty fight for mana. He was actually kind of in the wrong place to start out with it, as, oh, we go blinking for Medivac, but blinking for Medivac's kind of rough. The tank gets saved again. Super low HP. Mana needs to stop pushing, I think. If he has a Prism, maybe there's some potential. I mean, the thing is, you just don't need to. Gumiho's on 5 racks, 2 bases. The last thing you need to be doing is actually pushing into him. You're in such a great position anyway. It's going to be seen as Zealot. It's going to go and running in. A couple of tanks getting chased away. Moles are going to drop into the high ground. Just going to go pick off the Siege Tank. I mean, every tank you get rid of is great. Mana, the fact he is succeeding on this side of the map is obviously incredible for him, because again, it should be Gumiho that should have all the pressure right now. Mana has taken a 4th base. An extended thermal lance coming through. And Marine's going to grab an observer. Just don't think Mana needs to push anymore. I think he's completely right to go home, collect up his units. Make sure you don't die to drops, and this position is incredible for you, as Mana is looking for a 2-0. Bio coming across the map. So it's going to be fighting. There's a couple of force fields to change things, and there's the first one coming down. Plus it's still moving through. Everything else up on the high ground. More Zealots coming in. Bio setting up. Prism goes over to the far right. I just got a pretty hard kill though, so that's nice, as again, Mana still is not in any need of being aggressive. The SCVs are pulling. It is full on defense mode for Mana now. So it's going to go charging through. Again, just unnecessary, as the SCVs are going to start making their way through 3 Colossus. I mean, it's nice to be here because you kind of want to stop the tanks from just sieging up on your side of the map. The SCVs are seen now. This is where you absolutely just drop some force fields down and you start running the hell away. You can't lose this. The Zealots are going to come in from the bottom side. Now the Zealots from elsewhere as well. My goodness. For a moment, I thought these Colossi were in an absolute ton of trouble, and maybe Mana still very much so is. No upgrades for him against the 1-1 of his opponent. All of the tanks survive here, and it's very Marauder heavy as well. The only thing I will say is the Medivacs are super low energy, and there's no healing left for these Marauders that are already hurting. Another stim is going to hurt even further. Mana just needs to keep building Zealots, I think. If he can build Zealots, he should be able to kind of make this work as the tanks move a bit further up. It's obviously going to zone the Colossus. Now it's a bit more difficult for these Colossus to do their job. And it warps in more Zealots. A couple of High Templars as well. I love that. Get some Archons out here. Anything that's just tanky against Marauder tank is likely going to win you this game, because I just don't think Gumiho in the end should have enough to break through this. Another Colossus here will push those units back. We are not getting into a bit of a spread. Just, I was going to say nothing coming like down this ramp or anything, as the Colossus have a Prism to help them out. That's big when the tanks are there, and Gumiho's not even going to take the fight. It's just going to be GG. Mana 2-0 over Gumiho. What a result that is for him. That's a fantastic result. And Mana moves through to play Creator in that next round. So that's going to be very, very cool. Meanwhile, what's going on the Spirit Shin series? Spirit leads Shin 1-0. So Spirit actually up a game there. I was just thinking if we wanted to wait for that or just go into Creator versus Mana. What do you guys think? Do we wait for Shin Spirit to finish game 2? And I mean, the potential if Spirit's winning, it could end up being a TVT against Clem, right? So that doesn't really get us away from a mirror matchup. If it ends up going to a game 3, then obviously we do get the benefit of seeing potentially Spirit Shin and then potentially Shin versus Clem, which would be non-mirrored. What do you guys think? Let me know. Just looking to see how this Spirit... In the Spirit Shin, they're playing on Dynasty. This has potential to go on for a long time. That's the thing. It's kind of scary to wait on a Spirit matchup. The Spirit games are some of the longest in the business. Yeah, I think we probably just go into Mana versus Creator for the quarterfinals, and then we'll again kind of look from there and figure out what we want to jump into next, etc. Sounds good. So yeah, guys, I think we're gonna wait to see. Maybe Spirit Shin finishes up that game currently. Well, we'll just see what comes about. Maybe if Man and Creator are about to go in game, which I think they are, I think we just follow straight into that PvP, to be honest. Alright, there's a lobby for Creator Mana, so that is going to make that decision for us. We'll just get into this PvP. We'll go from there. I mean, nothing wrong with PvP, was just obviously wondering if there's going to be a better match to potentially end up watching, but I think this just makes sense. It means that we're not going to have too much downtime, and we can just go, which is always a good thing. So we'll get into that right now. Trying to figure out the servers, actually. Yo, Mel's Melee. What's up with the 101-month resub? Joined the 100-month sub club. Hell yeah. Freaking awesome resub. Holy goodness. Thank you so much for the 101 months. That's freaking crazy. It's bonkers to me that we have multiple people over like 100-month subs nowadays. Crazy stuff. Thank you so much for the 101. That's freaking awesome. Get some love in the chat from Mel's Melee. Hope you're doing great. Thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Damn, following since January 2016. That's crazy stuff. Madness. Alright. We're still having a server discussion, but hopefully very soon we can get into creative mana. How's that even possible? I know. It's crazy. And Twitch hasn't existed 100 months. Yeah. It's wild to me that in like a year and a bit. So next year is officially like 10 years since I went full-time in SC2. It's pretty bonkers, no? It's pretty wild. Spirit just 2-0'd Shin, by the way, so Spirit's gonna play Clem. I think in that case we just stick with the PvP no matter what. Because if it's PvP or TvT, I'm absolutely down to watch the PvP and just see how... I mean, great result for Spirit, but Mana's on a roll here as well, so let's just go for it. So we have in the top right-hand corner of the map, the blue Protoss player. This is Creator. Taking on our red Protoss in the top left from Team Liquid, it's Mana. Of course, Creator, part of Blacklist International, I believe is his team name. Deserves a special Wardiversary. Yeah, we'll probably do something for it. I mean, 10 years being full-time in SC2 is pretty bonkers. Obviously, I was doing stuff before then, but I think I finished university on like June the... I made my post going full-time like June 9th or something like that, or June 6th, 2015. So, yeah. Guess we'll have to do something to celebrate as our Proby is going to be coming across towards the upper right-hand side of the map, moving in. And seeing what's going on. Two gates, Cybercore coming about. Two gates on both sides of the map, so we just see Creative playing Harstem earlier and was trying to go for some of the one gate openers. Not going to do so on Ghost River, maybe this map. A little bit too small. Stalkers coming up on both sides. Warp gates are building through. We do have the probe of Mana actually going to go bottom right and build a pylon, so it looks like he has something sneaky planned here. We get that pylon down. Just going to get that place. A couple Stalkers going through as well. And the pylon going to start up a robo facility, so robo facility will come into play. Again, Warp Gate still coming through. Oh, double robo from Mana. Isn't that interesting? Well, that's really intriguing. So robots coming up, adepts coming through. I'm just going to see how Upgate's still building as our stalkers will gather together. Next on the way, and a couple sentries coming up. The robo is going to be coming through from Creator as well. I'm actually going to see Creator able to knock down one of these stalkers that tries to recall away. Second stalker does get out. Like I say, the double robo means you can overwhelm with immortals. I mean, I guess you got to go 2 immortals, then prism, or do we just go prism, immortal, and then more immortals behind it? Maybe that is the plan. Yeah, it's double immortal first. I don't think that's crazy. At some point, you definitely get in the prism, though. Steps of the Stalkers moving up to the upper right-hand side. Next is coming through the immortal building. Sentry, prism coming up still. And we'll have the prism and another immortal, like I say, just trying to be hitting with a lot of power, because, I mean, Creator is going to know he's on one base, but what Creator doesn't know is just how much of a oomph this is going to have, and obviously micro potential could be huge. Observer on the way. Well, it's got to be go time with this prism and that third immortal. There's almost no way we wait any longer, as mana will send it, and it is again just looking to prioritize the fact that you've got the immortal advantage. No prism out from your opponent just yet. Some force fields available. Oh, I guess we're gonna try and just unload onto the high ground here. Immortal, sentry coming through quickly. 2 immortals here, the third one showing up in a second. I mean, we have relocated, but I don't like this at all for mana. I feel like this is making it very tough for him, because now he's got to save these immortals, but he's also got to try and get this other immortal in the fight, which is just off and away on its own little journey. He does depower everything, though, as the pylon goes down. That's going to give him some time where his opponent is not building. 3 immortals versus the world, pretty much, as he chases for that one immortal. Is not going to get it, but at least it is out of the fight. Stalker and the sentry going down there. The adept still in the front. I think this is a hold. I just think this was too messy from mana. I actually think if he had all 3 immortals from the very start on the high ground, it would have been fine, but yeah, that third immortal was so far away. I'm kind of surprised he didn't lead with 2 immortals. He led with, like, immortal stalker stalker, and that just meant that it took a long time for the 2 immortal power to reach the high ground. This is it's not over. I mean, mana still maybe has some potential, but all 3 of his immortals are low. He's got a 4th healthy one, but yeah, I mean, again, you cannot take many hits at all. Couple more sentries warp in. As we come up towards the main base, it's going to start to unload here again. 5 immortals from mana against 3 of his opponent, and like I say, his immortals are hurting. He's got a couple of barriers to help him out. I'm looking for when these immortals are dying, though, as one of them already fell. A new reinforced immortal shows up. Mana still trying to power through. The probes are going to pull. This is where the probes are amazing, because obviously probes are very good against immortals. Every immortal shot on a probe is very much so a wasted shot. And that is a cleanup. Normal units is going to go back out into the center. Just going to be seeing a couple of mortals coming up both on the side of mana. Still just trying to make more and go again, but I just can't imagine this is going to work where it hasn't worked previously. Move into this main base. Mortal Zealot Sentry coming about. Unload to this high ground. Pylon will go down, so Pylon gets picked off here. Going to push forward again, and we are going to be seeing these units going to try and fight back. Creator is going to try and fight mana away, as mana is going to just not ever have the numbers here. I think that one was a long time coming, as GG is called, and it is created to Game 1 defense against the proxy double robo. There's going to be a moment jumping into Alcyone for game number 2. So into Alcyone right now, get this kicking off and going into our second game. And let's see if Creator can find a 2-0 to move into the semi-finals today. The same section of the bracket as the TVT with Clem and Spirit. Meanwhile, Milky Cow and ByuN are playing a banger of a series apparently. Is that still going on Rotty's channel? They're playing a pretty crazy game. Yeah, they are 33 minutes deep in a TVT right now. Pretty even supplies, 23 workers each. Milky Cow fighting to make it 1-1. ByuN trying to go 2-0. The winner of that plays MaxPacks in the round of 8. So that is ongoing as we get going back into this series. In the bottom left-hand side, our blue Protoss player here is Creator. Currently up a game. There's in the top right, it is Red Protoss, Team Liquid's Mana. So we're getting set up and a rumbling. That's going to be having a couple gates coming up and online. It is 2 gates from Mana, but only the 1 gate again from Creator, kind of going back to what he was doing earlier today against Harstem in the PvPs we got to watch of him earlier on. Cybercore setting up, and gates coming through, probe on the way up. And get this all up and running. Zella gonna chase the probe around. Helen is gonna go down. As y'all gonna be seeing a couple stalkers. The wolf gate's still coming up. It's gonna be seeing that probe coming across this side. Yeah, right, that moving through. So our Nexus building, and with Mana going to that Twilight Council, I wonder if we're just going to send it on like a 1-base blink. 2 stalks coming up, Wolfgate nice in production there, the Twilight Council coming through, the Adepts still trying to come up this high ground. Trying to see what's going on as the 2 stalkers of Mana still making their way in. So Mana already putting some pressure in, there's the extra gateway as we do commit to the 1 base. Mana trying to play a pretty aggressive series then. We'll see if this ends up working out for him. Folks just gonna find, just gonna be seeing the Oracle push back. Again, there's the Void Ray coming up from Creator, Blink still coming through. Again, Wolfgate coming on both sides as a couple stalkers get back up to the top. So that gateway proxied, and we're actually going to build another gateway here as well. It's just going to full send off that position. Blink gives you a lot of mobility and a lot of chance to obviously engage in a few different places. Oracle comes back down the right side. Void Ray both on the way up, so Creator starting up his defenses here. Void Ray is going to be very important for him as he'll get a few probes and just slow some of this mana economy. Oracle is out alive as well, if only just. able to escape up through the top, so just about able to get away from that one as another gateway finishes, and it is pretty much go time here from Mana. Stalkers collect on the front lines, and we're going to start moving through. Probe goes down, a couple of Zealots getting chased about, Battery taking a hit. One probe dropping there, Battery still taking damage. It will fall, and this pylon also taking a few more shots at the moment. Stalkers are fighting, and the pylon's still taking hits as we have this pylon going down. Next one as well. Mana is going to overwhelm on the natural, but I love that he's not going to slow down. Blinks into the main base. We'll get that Void Ray. Didn't fire everything onto that Void Ray, or maybe only needed a couple of Stalkers shooting at it. We'll finish off the Immortal as well. Now the Blink forward has let the Zealots get on top of these Stalkers. Suddenly Mana supply is already not looking good. Taking down those tech units is such an investment, and that investment unfortunately is going the wrong way for him. Doesn't seem to be good enough at all, as our Stalkers will still try and bully their way forward. Pylon going to get knocked down. Mortal coming over. You are going to lose a pylon here as well. A couple of gates still coming about. Again, Sentry coming up, Probe and Stalker on the way. We have the Oracle of Creator diving into the main base. Single Stalker is here to play the deflection, and it actually should have killed that Oracle. Mistake from Mana. The Stalker should have killed that, but then it started to run away. I guess F2'd it, and now you're missing your entire mineral line of mining, more or less. As you try and break forward to the front, the battery is depowered. This is the moment to go for Mana. This is the moment where success might be found. Creator does not have another Immortal close to being done. The Super Battery gets repowered, or, well, Battery gets repowered. It becomes a Super Battery immediately. Mana still has the Blink to create efficiency with, but again, it just doesn't feel like he's doing enough. And again, with all that mining time lost, surely he's going to miss some warp-ins as well, so he's not going to get to that overwhelming amount of Stalkers that he probably really needs to. Creator now getting more stack defense available on the low ground. This is huge for him, because everything he can do to defend the low ground is just better and better. And get a Zealot warped in. The Immortal's not far from being done. Zealot is nice to tank for a little bit, and there is the Immortal. I just don't think Mana has the units go jump onto the Immortal like he did before. This time he will see the Oracle coming in. The Stasis Ward catches just 2 probes. Stalker's still trying to trade. Go back and forth a little further. Couple sentries, and the Immortal still coming out on the side of Creator. Still bringing those through at the moment. Let's have ourselves the rest of these Stalkers, the sentry, gathering in right now. Blink up to the high ground, but the new Immortal actually pops out here. Okay, force field to the low ground. We're going to recall. What are we recalling? One Immortal and a couple of probes. I was going to say, I feel like that's not actually enough. As the Immortal will get Super Battery. Doesn't want to run too far away from the Super Battery. I understand trying to get away from the opponent's Stalkers. Oh, it actually survived such a long... It's actually going to live through this. Okay, game. Absolutely. If you don't kill that Immortal, there's no way you ever come out on top of this game. GG's! And Creator takes it 2-0 over Mana to move into the semi-finals. So Creator into the round of 4. We'll be taking on the winner of Clem and Spirits. Just going to try and check where that is at. Clem and Spirit are currently 10 minutes into game number 1. Did Milky Cow and ByuN finish? Okay, ByuN's about to beat Milky Cow, which means he's going to move into the quarterfinals. What are they doing on the mainstream? I think mainstream is going to do ByuN versus MaxPacks before they do any semi-finals. So I think we're going to go ByuN MaxPacks, because everything else is underway, so it doesn't make sense for us not to just jump in on the TVP that's coming up. So, yeah, I think we'll get that ready to go here in just a few moments. And away we will go. Perfect, guys. So ByuN MaxPacks coming up, because they're going to do that on the mainstream, which means that even if we go Clem Spirit Game 2, if that finishes, we will not be allowed to start the semi-final before ByuN MaxPacks is done. So we may as well just go ByuN MaxPacks to start off with, and just go from there. So ByuN MaxPacks, and then a couple of semi-finals coming up. We'll be back soon with more Starcraft. I'll take a quick break for myself. I'll see you guys in a few. Alright guys, we're going to go into ByuN MaxPacks here in a couple of moments, get this on set up into this TVP. As like I say, they won't let any of the semi-finals start until this TVP is done, so we may as well do this and then really know what the matchups are going to be. Skillous just beat Firefly, so Skillous is in the round of 4, he plays MaxPacks or ByuN, and then Creator is in the round of 4, he plays Clem or Spirit. So go into these next couple of series and go from there, see what happens. So just waiting for ByuN. He's BRB at the moment, then we can get into this TVP. No Zergs left today, just Protoss and Terran players. Like I said, we're guaranteed a PVT on the bottom side semi-final. Top side semi-final obviously depends a bit on who comes through. I'll get that figured out. They're ready to go. Thanks for a bit of patience, guys, as we get set up. Again, just taking a little bit to get underway, but should be good to go shortly into this next match. Oceanborn. Gonna be where we start. Alright, kicking off, getting going. Readies and GLHFs are getting cold as we get ready to go. MaxPacks versus ByuN here. As mentioned a couple times over, we are set to begin. We'll keep you updated with the other results going on. Like I say, Skillous is waiting for the winner of this, and basically other than that, it's just Spirit versus Clem. The winner of that will end up against Creator in the other semi-final. So we get into Oceanborn. Kick this off. Game 1 of this PVT in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. We're going to start things off with the red Protoss player. This is MaxPacks. And in the top left, our blue Terran player, we have ourselves ByuN. So, that's a 3 PVT. It is going to be here in the quarterfinals. ByuN came out of a crazy series against Milky Cow, it seems. So it was like a 35-minute game, too, super close. ByuN actually lost that game. Wins out in game 3 and ends up here against MaxPacks, who's kind of just been cruising through the bracket so far. We've not seen any of his games, but he's been pretty decent thus far. Like I say, it looks as though there's just been a bunch of 2-0s from him, so yeah. And it seemed like every single time I checked the bracket, it was an updated result from MaxPacks, so it feels as though he was constantly in that position of, like I say, just winning cleanly, easily, nothing really holding him up. Maybe his biggest challenge so far today as he gets into this PVT against a ByuN, though, who has not exactly been 100% lately. ByuN, who we're kind of hoping is going to turn it around ahead of the eSports World Cup, because if ByuN doesn't start turning it around, then my goodness, is he in some trouble, because his level has just dropped off. I don't know why or what, but he's just not playing at the level that we know ByuN can play at. Not a great time to have it ahead of the biggest tournament of all time for Starcraft 2, but I'm somewhat hoping it may be just because he's kind of holding back some builds and some stuff for eSports World Cup, so maybe that has some impact. So yeah, I mean, like I say, ByuN, he's doing well enough to kind of get by in some of these online events, but getting by is not usually the kind of the style of ByuN. Usually he's really good in these online events and so on, right? So. Well, there's going to be an Adept is going to hit onto the Reaper a little bit. Some damage being dealt there. Command Center, Cyclone, all the things coming up from ByuN that are going to keep him fairly safe against the Stargate opening that MaxPacks is currently delving into. So MaxPacks will head into that Stargate, Stalker, and a Warp Gate coming up as well at the same time. Gateway continuing to come about. As our Adept is going to get there, and the Reaper will start to take some shots. Hops up to the high ground, and it's going to go down as the Adept gets that kill. So the Reaper will fall. Again, 2 Marines and a Cyclone still coming up. Again, Gateway, Stalker, Phoenix, Warp Gate. Bit of everything coming through at the moment here. As I just have our Adept of MaxPacks still chilling out in the center. Adept continues through. We just have our Cyclone and our Marines are going to turn back around and jump onto that Adept in return. Adept is going to take a few shots of damage going down now as the Cyclone gets to clean up on it. Still got our Phoenix coming through here, the Warp Gate as well. Cyclone building with the Marines on the way as well on the side of ByuN. Well. A couple of Phoenix will continue to gather around. Cyclones, Marines making their way down the left. Again, that Liberator's coming up. Another Cyclone popping in a moment here from ByuN. More Marines coming out also. Phoenix go right up to the top side of the map. So I'm going to head toward the upper left-hand side. There's a couple Marines that are going to come down towards the south. Phoenix able to fire. SCV going to get a grab on that as we just see our Bioforce coming through. The couple Cyclones still joining up. The Adept is going to be there. Malon gets picked off. We're still going to be seeing this pressure from ByuN. The 3 Cyclones is obviously pretty powerful, but you got to be careful. Stalkers and a good few Phoenix lifts, and you can absolutely overpower this as well. So a lot to look at right now here in this game 1. Just going to see that Liberator ending up the far right side of the map. Cyclone's locked, Stalker taking a few shots. Immortal there, trying to fight back a little bit as well. The Immortal's actually going to get into some trouble as ByuN only just now loses his first Cyclone. He had a replacement one coming up, so it's still 3 of them. The Liberator's forced the entire mineral line off from mining here on the top side as well. Also a pretty huge factor. Robotics Bay. That'll be done on the side of MaxPacks. So we finish up that Robot Bay. Marines in the tank coming back through. The Phoenix is still up to the top. The few SCVs getting taken out. We will get another couple of kills there as well. So we've got those Phoenix coming through. The Colossus, the Phoenix all building. A couple of probes on the way from MaxPacks also. Add a pylon onto the list. Production tab looking good. As he just needs to figure out, though, pushing this army back so he can take his 3rd base. The longer you get kept away from your 3rd, the worse off you're going to be. One upgrade, stim packs continue to come through. The Phoenix can get some shots out onto the orbital command still. Going to try and slow ByuN from taking the 3rd. MaxPacks ends up taking the 3rd on the upper side, so making it out onto the map. Obviously, moving a base out onto the map is generally a bit of you know, that's not really a great situation. Tank there is going to blast through a few Stalkers. Colossus and the Immortals able to blast through as well. There, the Phoenix Lifting up the Cyclones, lifting up some Marines. It's going to be a complete cleanup, though, my goodness. MaxPacks with the shutdown. 1-1 upgrades and Stimpack still continuing through. That was a hell of a shutdown, that much is for sure. Damn. What a play that was as we head back across. It's going to be having ourselves the Phoenix and the Colossus still moving through. It's going to continue up here. It is going to be MaxPacks just full sending it. The Phoenix lifting up the siege tanks. I don't think we're going to last long in this as ByuN. The 2 Immortals are there for when the siege tanks drop down. They're going to melt if the Immortals target fire. Or the Phoenix just continue to lift up the tanks again and again. We actually lose one of the... we lose the Colossus. I mean, MaxPacks has done enough, right? 10 SCVs killed. He's got a massive army supply lead. Reinforcements may be slow to arrive, but they will be arriving. And ByuN is in undeniably a horrible spot as he's going to try and live it out. I mean, he's got 1-1 finished up. It's just a complete lack of units from ByuN is the issue. And the Phoenix still have lift energy as well, so if they can just lift up a defensive siege tank here, I think they might still continue to see a very good little situation. So let's see what happens there. Phoenix lifting the siege tanks. I love the target fire. What ByuN is doing is he's target firing the Phoenix that's lifting the tank. So every single time the Phoenix that's lifting the tank gets killed off pretty quickly, so the tank gets dropped back down, forcing another lift to be used. I mean, MaxPacks gets more SCVs killed, but you could argue that obviously while he gets more SCVs, he did maybe lose a little bit more army than what was necessary on this. We have our Phoenix continuing to get back onto that orbital. He's going to go straight to this. Orbital burning, but can of course be repaired. Fire coming across, Phoenix taking some shots. Concussive shells and combat shields both still building into play. The +1 on the charge coming through also. Just getting a lot of that into action here as our Phoenix come back over. Colossus still rallying out onto the low ground. Our Phoenix are back up around the top. What is our next step of all this? Phoenix pulling back to the army. Siege tanks still sieged on the top side. We do have army of MaxPacks moving forwards towards the upper left. Temple Archive is about halfway done. Our Observer and our +2 attack upgrade coming in now as well. There's a little warp in of a few zealots. That's going to come in. MaxPacks ready to launch himself at this top left side. This is going to get rid of a few more SCVs. Really felt like this was just going to end, and ByuN found a defense on the natural, I think, just slowed it down a little bit too much, perhaps. Just gonna fire, medevac goes down, a little bit of bio still chasing. That's the Immortal, the Colossus, continue to run back there. We do have Libs, Marines, and Marauders still all coming through too. Colossus firing, a few Marines going down. See those tanks all getting lifted. That's going to depower a lot of what ByuN's working on here. Can the bio on the ground get to the Colossus? That would be the question mark. Answer is absolutely not. It's going to be GG's. And MaxPacks is going to take game 1 of this best of 3. So he gets the win. Just, like I say, it really felt like it was going to be a much more convincing win for MaxPacks. It was convincing anyways, right? We can't really complain about that. So there we go. All right. So we get into our next game here in just a few moments. Get that ready to go, go, go. Gonna be Alcyone. Let's get this going. And game number 2 will start up here between the guys. Getting set up. You guys just checking on something. Alright, going in game. In the top right hand side, our red Protoss player is going to be from Storm MaxPacks at 1-0. Takes on the blue Terran. In the bottom left corner of the map, we have ByuN. Melvin, thank you so much for the 9-month resub here on the channel. Thank you very much indeed. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Fine, you're coming about. Obviously, we get ourselves settled in and look to see what the plan becomes. Typical Zealot getting built, orbital and the Marine coming about as well as we get that up and running here. While the command center goes down on the natural, because we just have an Nexus, a Cybercore coming up. Where in the UK am I from? From the northeast. My accent sounds a bit Scottish. People are very good at picking up on the very small bits of accent that I have. It's incredible. I'm always impressed when people identify even somewhat close. Because I couldn't do it. Can't do it at all. I'm terrible at accents. Warp gate coming by then from MaxPacks. So we get that on the go. The next is coming through. Just going to see the Adept running boosting out of the gateway as well. So bringing that up. Squish. Well, I mean, it's in the right direction of the country, I guess. You know. A Marine gonna fight the Zealot. Just gonna be seeing the SCV. Gonna get chased around a little bit as well. Adept is going to clean up the Marine here as we just have other Adept coming back around. Getting that blink on the way, that warp gate coming up. A few Adepts in the Zealot here still causing trouble, and finally the Cyclone should be a much better kind of hold against this. As the Adept's going to shade through into the mineral line in the main, though. So in they go. As we just go to try and find a few of these SCVs. Probe facility coming online from MaxPacks, getting this underway still. We have ourselves the Cloak and the Banshee coming up on the side of ByuN, so getting that up and running. The couple of Marines continue to come through as well. All said and done here, MaxPacks lost 1 Zealot, killed 4 SCVs, killed 2 Marines, slowed the CC down. Already feels like an amazing start for MaxPacks. He's on a 13 worker lead, and MaxPacks has absolutely got to be loving his starting point here for this game too. Feels like a great start for him. What a fantastic way for things to be going thus far. There's a couple of depths going to go after some SCVs here. 2 SCVs going down already. Looking for more. Prison Blink continuing up. We will see our Cloak, Banshee, and Tank continue to come through as well. And next coming through, the couple of probes and the observer coming about. Hyperflight Rotors is on the way as well at the moment, so bring that through too. Focusing going to start getting some SCVs, man. ByuN is not in a position of taking even more damage. Banshees, I believe, spotted there as well, man. With Hyperflight Rotors, he is absolutely needing these Banshees to get something done. That is quite the investment. So it's going to move up again. Tank coming in, Stimpak coming through. Getting that settled down. Charge and +1 both coming up. On the side of MaxPacks, we do have MaxPacks with the Stalkers in the main base now. There's a tank here though, but we can still get 2 SCVs before we eat too many tank shots. And that's going to be a good defense there. And the Banshees, as MaxPacks has the observers. So again, Hyperflight Rose makes it a little bit difficult to kind of keep up with the Banshees, but I mean, this was not exactly the game-ending damage or turning around damage that we kind of needed from ByuN. Stalkers will blink in. They should be able to find another Banshee, so that's 1 Banshee killed. ByuN is just not getting enough out of this at all. Logan, thanks so much for the 50-month resub. As Dad Decisions comes in with the 4-month resub as well on the Prime. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for supporting. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Thank you. It just feels as though MaxPacks is setting up to... I mean, okay, ByuN's hitting some upgrades and stuff, but man, MaxPacks has had just such a great start to the game. Can we kill this Banshee? We can. Runs out of cloaking there. The observer was in view anyway. Some little, stack defense coming up as we get that 4th base established too. Just going to try and get that ready to go. Give me a second forge coming down, so MaxPacks can start to work on some armor upgrades as well. +1 attack, combat shield, both being brought into play still. Factory also about halfway done. A couple of CCs coming around as well. Prism still set up as I'm medevacs on the top side. Just want to figure out what it is that they are about to get up to. Couple of barracks on the way up here from ByuN. We get those on the way. Medevac still moving around on the top side. Stalkers will be at the front as well. Again, +2 attack. Extended thermal lance, all being built. MaxPacks just extending on his early game lead. And that extended thermal lance finishing shortly. +2 attack, +1 armor coming about right now. Continue to bring that into play. Like I say, just more and more for MaxPacks to work on. I like this because he's just poking with the stalkers that he can absolutely afford to just kind of leave here and to keep an eye on things with. He's still got the main bulk of his army back at home. Cyclone will get killed there. And you're going to see this drop able to get the +1 armor, so hey, one of the forges of MaxPacks goes down. The problem is, this is still costing you units, and at the same time, MaxPacks is denying your third base at this point. Prism can get shot down, sure, but Azad in the main is still finding some SCVs. I mean, it's just not good enough for ByuN. He is trailing in so many ways. He's got so much space he needs to make up in this game. This one is kind of done. Well, Medevac's being chased around. MaxPacks might just be able to get a bigger push across the map now. He's got to be feeling as though his army is... I mean, he's maxed out. Any time he gives ByuN now is just giving ByuN a chance to build an army, which he should never really get a chance to get to. You can see that Guardian Shield coming up. We are going to see a lot of tanks here. It makes it a more difficult fight to take. Depot's trying to create some sort of a choke point. At the end of the day, though, MaxPacks is just so far ahead that this is not going to matter. GG's. MaxPacks 2, ByuN 0. MaxPacks goes to the semifinals to play against Skillous in the PvP. Meanwhile, Clem and Spirit, no result reported just yet. Let's go have a check on that. Clem up 1-0, only 7 minutes into game 2, so it seems like we can get into MaxPacks versus Skillous for this PvP series. So we'll get that ready to go. Some semi-final action ready to begin here. I imagine MaxPacks Skillous just play now, because Clem and Spirit aren't done. So yeah, I imagine we just go to Europe and we get ready to go into MaxPacks versus Skillous. So we get that all set up. ByuN falls in the round of 8 today. MaxPacks just never really let him get going. Yeah, MaxPacks has run 2-0 Rex, 2-0 Australia, 2-0 Sue, 2-0 ByuN. Every time we look, it just seems to be another 2-0 on the board. Pretty clean stuff from him up into the semi-finals. Taking on Skillous could actually be for a pretty entertaining little PvP coming up. So get that up and ready to rumble here, guys, as we will be right back in just a few. Well, actually, we'll just stay here. Gonna hop to Europe at the very least, though. What could he do? I mean, ByuN did lose the game pretty much by taking way too much damage from the early units. And it is very normal for Protoss to pull ahead and work camp before engagements, but obviously 15 workers that early in the game is just not meant to happen at all. ByuN just took too much damage off the harass and continued to take damage through that harass as well. He then built into Hyperflight Banshee Rotors, Hyperflight Rotor Banshees, which did nothing as well. Like, they did like a couple of kills. So not only did you have a terrible start, you made a big investment that went absolutely nowhere. Just trouble across the board, basically. Trouble across the board from ByuN. What can you do differently? Just play a much better early game, I think. That's what it comes down to. Do-do. No. players joining the party. Videos will be beginning. Max is just BRB a moment, as Skillous has one more veto, I believe, and then we will be into our win. Just waiting for MaxPacks to return. I still think Skillous needs to do one more veto, though. And then our map pick will come in. First reveal will be map number 1. Clem is leading game 2 against Spirits. Looks like that semi-final will be going down that path for the moment. We are going to start up on Ghost River. I must have missed a veto somewhere. Crimson, Side Post, Ocean, Alcyone. I just never saw Skillous make a 6th veto. Maybe he vetoed before. I don't know. Oh, MaxPacks was the one to start. I've got no idea, man. Starcraft things are confusing, yo. Do 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 bam. Da 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 da. Yeah, we're still waiting for. Yeah, MaxPacks is like, what was your 3rd veto? Skillous is like, goes River first, but then he didn't actually make his final veto, so MaxPacks can't pick a map 2. Yay. Alright, guys. Waiting for this to go. And now MaxPacks picks first, so it wasn't Skillous' map pick at all. Oh my goodness. First map Golden Aura. Alright, big map to start us off in this PvP, guys. It's on the way in just a couple moments. We've got a bit of PvP today, haven't we? Let's keep ending up in these PvP series. Oi, oi, oi. Alright. Well, the first map is set, so hopefully get this hosted up and underway in just a second. Get this all started. Move on through. Second map will be Ghost River, and it's just not getting hosted up at all, man. Just need to get hosted up. What's the third map? Oh, yes, it's Oceanborn. It's always Oceanborn. No, Oceanborn's been videoed. Citadel's been videoed. Crimson's videoed. Post's been videoed. Dynasty? Alright. So some moves being made, guys. Sorry, they're taking a little while. Just, I mean, like I say, we know what the map is. They're just not hosting it. There we go. Progress being made now. As we get into Golden Aura then for game number 1. Get this started up. Ready to go, 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 go. On Skillous versus MaxPacks in this PvP semi-final. This is all getting going right about now. Countdown going on, as you can hear, and we're finally getting back into some action. Like I said, just took a little while for videos to come through and everything to get going, but I think we're good right now. Let's kick this off and let's get this underway. Golden Aura going to be our opening map. Here in the semis of today's Kung Fu Cup Edition 10. Next week is the last Kung Fu Cup of this season, and then Wednesdays are going to be freed up for a little while, but obviously eSports World Cup's coming up and so on, so we'll have still plenty going about. In the top left-hand side, we're going to start things off with the red Protoss player. This is... Oh, sorry, the blue Protoss player. This is Skillous. I confused myself there. While in the bottom right, it is actually going to be the red Protoss player, which is MaxPacks. Alright, so a bit of PvP to whet our appetite here in the semi-finals to begin with. Second semi-final will come through a little bit later on. It was looking as though that's likely going to be Clem creator, but we don't know it just yet. It's going to be a pretty fun series, but like I say, we'll check in on that a bit further down the line when we know a bit more about what's actually going to be taking place here. So we'll get that ready to go. As our Proby is already coming across the map for a little bit of scouting. It's going to get into the natural here and start to move around as it tries to play that blocking game, of course, a very important part of the PvP. Trying to block that expand for as long as possible. Get that on the go. Make that as good as we can do in these early stages. Cyber Core coming up as well, by the way. Just going to get that Cyber Core coming through. And that's going to be true on both sides of the map. Low ground gateway from Skillous. He's going to do the MaxPacks to MaxPacks. So, MaxPacks, is he going to let his opponent kind of do his signature build against him? I would suggest probably not, but we shall see. So it is going to swipe away at the pylon, which is going to end up being cancelled. So that pylon will go down. And that is going to be the Nexus dropping in. So Skillous' as expansion comes up. MaxPacks with the Stargate on the way, which is very typical of MaxPacks. Get that Stargate up and then really play his opening from there. Stargate building through, we get settled in. Take a few moments to get fully set. Once again, our Nexus is coming in line, our Stargates are building. Have our Stalker able to play a little bit of the deflection game up in the main base. And we've seen our Zealot and our Adept continue to gather around on the front. And MaxPacks not really going to win that fight, so he's going to get turned around. He is expanding himself back at home, so getting that expansion up and rolling now, bringing that through. Stalker's still going to pull it back, trying to get a little bit more out of this here. Stalker, Walkgate continue to build for now. Well, flies in, and MaxPacks will start to find some workers. This is going to start cutting that worker lead of Skillous down. Trying to do something about that as the Stalker continues over. The Oracle getting chased about a little bit still. We see now Oracle still around the right, and again Twilight Council coming through. A couple of gates coming in. These Oracles would love to get some more probes. There's definitely work to be done here to level out the work count, and that's going to be it. We lose an Oracle, but hey, we got the workers. Now the work can't get them leveled, and you still have an Oracle to provide vision with and so on, so I'm feeling pretty okay about that. Links on both sides. MaxPacks already going into the Dark Shrine, which if the speed of that Dark Shrine is fast enough, it might just catch Skillous before he gets any sort of setup going, really, right? I mean, Skillous doesn't have detection. That Dark Shrine can be 100% deadly, so I feel like we're kind of falling towards that right now. Oracle still trying to stay active. Obviously, Oracle can tell if there's detection coming up, and so you can figure out where the best place to send the DTs will be as well when the time comes. This nation is obviously scanning through, but the Dark Shrine's proxy on the left-hand side, so we will... oh, sorry, is the Dark Shrine actually in the main base? Dark Shrine is in the main base. Okay, so Skillous knows he's going to build the robo facility. Maybe in the natural, so defense is possible here as he actually finds the pylon. That's huge. He was expecting the warp in because he saw it, and because he was expecting the warp in, he comes across and denies the gateway and the pylon, and that means the warp in does not go down, so the DTs will not arrive quickly, and that's going to give him time to get detection up, which means this investment of MaxPacks is going to start falling apart. Stalkers will fight as we run up and trade here initially. Just going to have a couple of extra gates coming through, the Observer coming about, obviously the charge coming in. Skillous definitely seem to take control of this. The DTs will show up, but that Observer is about to pop. The Force will buy just a little bit more time. This really is starting to look good all around. See our charge coming up, the Observer coming through. A few Stalkers continue to battle here as well. As we do have Stalkers continue to take a trade, the DT continues to move about also for the moment. Away we go. Stalkers still moving about, and we have ourselves again charging +1 coming through on the side of Skillous, so we get that coming up as well. Get that on the way in. See how it all finalizes. As a few extra gateways will start up now as well. I mean, to be fair, it's been kind of an interesting game. MaxPacks will still have the DTs you can use deeper in the game as well, so that's still something you can use further down the line. That's one more thing we can maybe keep our eyes on. With the DT showing up right here, just going to be running forwards. We're going to see what's happening. And this is exactly where you start just getting some extra damage done and start to, like I say, pull ahead of your opponent a bit. That's what MaxPacks is so good at. He's so good at staying consistently active in these kind of games. He's so good at kind of ripping just little advantages into place. Stalker's going to chase the DTs down. So Skillous will at least be able to start getting this under control. That was obviously very important. Really did need to make sure he was doing that. As our +1 and our Prism come through from him, he's going to have a way faster +1, so there's still some advantages from this early game, very much so apparent right now. Chase Sword goes off, a couple Stalkers will get caught. So caught up right there. As do you have the rest of this army still moving on and through. Stalker's still blinking around, and it is going to be Skillous going to go on the offensive. MaxPacks has a good army supply himself. Do not sit here kind of afraid for MaxPacks or anything. I think he's going to be fine. Don't see Skillous being able to break through this force. Well, he does have the +1 advantage, and he does have a little bit of an army supply lead, so maybe it truly is enough. Guess we're about to find out as our Stalkers continue to trade in. The sentry gets picked off as well. The other Stalker's being hunted. Pylon will go down as well, and we do have +2 attack, coming up to being about halfway done already. This one of MaxPacks also about to finish. Oracle keeps on dropping some revelations down. The Stalker's there too. Trying to see what's going down. Golden Aura is a big map for PvP. A lot of ramps to attack up into, makes it kind of difficult. Makes it a great map to actually eventually just get some disruptors out on to finish. Stalkers in the Prism continue in production as well. Getting up just a little bit of anything possible. Building in whatever way we can. Well, Revelation going down as well. We keep an eye on things there. Just seeing the Stalkers continue to peruse the map. It is still, again, Skillous who is kind of hunting around for a lot of this damage, and MaxPacks who is just happy to let this game go later. The later it goes, I think a lot less impactful the early game kind of shenanigans were. And like I said, the early game shenanigans were definitely not quite as great for Skillous as great as for MaxPacks as he might have wanted them to be. Big army of Skillous retreating back down the bottom now. It's all going to be there. Cannon in the battery. Taking some shots. Battery will go down. Zal's continue to come through. Stalker's getting caught. The unit compositions is 43 Stalkers to 31. There's just a couple DTs and Immortals there for MaxPacks that are not for Skillous. That's the difference right now, as these DTs will work their way through into the mineral lines. But that's not going to go too far. One DT dead. MaxPacks just warps in again off the Prism. So far, Skillous doing a great job of just handling MaxPacks' aggression and just not letting this get too out of control. Keeping this a very level and steady game thus far. As I was still pointing about, DTs are going to come through their Nexus, taking some more damage as well. He's going to find a Nexus. Our Stalker's still moving up to that high ground again. +2 attack coming through, +3 attack on the way in as well. You can see that super battery is about to finish. Our Stalkers are going to recall up to the top side. More Stalkers coming in. Prism gets shot down. Solid Stalker DT still settling down as well. Skillous just losing a lot as he's lost a lot of workers. Now MaxPacks going to try and jump on this base. I actually think he could have fought there with the 2 Immortals. I think he had enough to stand and fight because he's outnumbered on the right side, but he overnumbered on the left side. Army's still sitting up on the high ground for the moment. Chasing about, trying to see what else we can do. As we do have ourselves the extra gate still building into play, and the DTs are just causing utter chaos. Skillous is not recovering from this at all, having a rough time of it. So Stalker's just going to get there. A couple Stalkers go down. We will see the Prism and a bunch more warp-ins. That's going to be GG, and that is going to be MaxPacks taking game 1 of this best of 3. Just turning it around as the game got deeper. MaxPacks doing MaxPacks kind of things, honestly, and able to take game 1 of the series. So MaxPacks off to a 1-0 start. Game 2 coming up in a second, as we'll get into this in a few and see what the next stage of this is going to be. So MaxPacks looking good to potentially make the finals. It is Clem Creator on the other semi-final, by the way, guys. So Clem Creator on that second semi. How things are looking right now. We'll see how Skillous MaxPacks game 2 goes. Coast River, a small map as well, so it actually could get very interesting very quickly there. Definitely something to consider. That's ready. GLHF gets called for MaxPacks. GLHF from Skillous. Just getting our final caster into the lobby. Should be good to go. Looks like the other semi just finished, so a lot of people are hopping over to Europe to join into this one. This is what's going on. It's just taking a few moments there. Slip through and get on with it. PvP resumes right now. Let's get into the loading screen. For Ghost River. And it's going to be top left where we start, as it is with our Protoss player who's down a map in this European PvP showdown in the semi-finals. This is Skillous in the top left. The top right, and our Blue Protoss player here is MaxPacks, up 1-0. So game number 2, and we'll see if, I mean, Skillous honestly had a great start last time around. The build was great. He did not take damage from the DTs. It's one of the starts you really just want to be seeing, you know, getting into the PvP, but he just let it all slip away. The consistent harass of MaxPacks and the rest of it got to be a little bit too much in the end. Cybercore's coming up, and gateways and probes continuing through. There's a Cybercore coming up on both sides, so we're going to finish those. And it is 2 gates each, as we'd probably expected to be on Ghost River. It's a bit more of a smaller, aggressive map. Not playing 2 gates feels like you're putting yourself in a lot of danger. Trying to protect an expansion off of 1 gate does just not seem like a good time, right? So we're going to fight onto the pylon, probe nibbling that pylon as well. A couple Stalkers still coming up from Skillous. The Stargate is about to finish from MaxPacks. And that Stargate completed as the Stalker and Adept are going to clash into one another. X is coming through on both sides. Again, the battery coming up as well on the side of MaxPacks. We get that on the go. Stalker is going to go chase the Adept down. The Adept continues to shade up to the top, so just trying to get out of there for the moment. It's going to be getting away. As the Stalker is still coming through and chasing down the Adept. The Adept is taking a few more hits. That Twilight Council is building from Skillous, so we continue to bring the Twilight through. Stalkers get there, Oracle pushed away. Twilight Council about to be done for Skillous as well. Just going to get that finished up. Oh, a couple of sentries and our Stalker's still moving around. Our probes gather in. Then we have the blink. Also just now beginning on the side of Skillous. Again, that blink coming up, and we actually come in with MaxPacks. Activating this Void Ray. Going after the Stalkers. The Oracle going after probes. The Stalker's currently focusing on that. Now we'll turn around and try and fight everything else. But this is a surprisingly effective attack from MaxPacks. Couple of probes, a bunch of Stalkers dead. Got a sentry as well. What a weird little attack in from MaxPacks, but it actually works pretty much just wonders so far. I'm gonna see those couple Stalkers in the sentry coming back around to the top. Well, still got the blink coming in on both sides. And still getting that blink coming through. Couple Stalkers gonna hit, Oracle gonna fire. Our Stalker's gonna fire. We have got the Void Ray. Just gonna move back a little bit. Can of course activate to be very scary. And looks like we got enough here from MaxPacks to defend against this. That Guardian Shield getting pushed back is important. Obviously, no Guardian Shield means no advantage. As Blink is not here from MaxPacks just yet. It'll be ready soon. Skillous is already running though, so MaxPacks has found the defense, and we'll have more warp pins in a second as well, I imagine. Well, Robot Facility Forge still coming through. The charge continue to come up as well. Look at our Stalkers coming back over that left-hand side again. +1 charge, all coming up. More Stalkers warping in. Skillous and MaxPacks joining up together. Let's see, MaxPacks potentially ready to make a little bit of a push go on. Stalkers fighting, and a few Stalkers getting pushed backward. We've seen these Stalkers continue to trade as we do have our battery doing a little bit of healing here. +1, forcing this back, a couple gates going through, stasis ward coming down. MaxPacks has a lot of Stalkers here, but Skillous has numbers as well. He's just not in the right position. We're going to see MaxPacks pulling back. It's that stasis ward that's obviously just allowing MaxPacks to clearly capitalize on this, as now he comes out, he can blink down, he will get a couple Stalkers as he goes off of these Stalkers that were caught in stasis, but blink comes off cooldown. MaxPacks stay too long. He has +1, but he just doesn't have the numbers. 9 probes killed, and MaxPacks once again edging ahead in the world of PvP here. Into a little bit of a better spot. Stalkers going back over, a couple more Stalkers getting shot at. We'll see this Mortal going to try and fight away at these couple of Adepts. They get chased out down the bottom side as well. Probe's dead as Skillous is once again in control of some Adepts, and now he can't really have the power to push in on the other side either, so I don't think much else is going to happen there. Eight probes go down. Skillous is obviously still hurting work-wise, hurting army-wise. Later on the 4th base, You name it, and he's trailing on it. He's trailing on the upgrades as well. Stalkers and the Immortal gathering up on the left. Looks like with a 20 supply lead right now. He's actually coming across again just with the Stalkers as he sets up, and he actually has an Immortal trailing behind as well. He also has one sentry to use how he wishes. Can't really get anywhere just yet. Prisms joining together, moving about a little. Looks like so good with this movement, just moves in, finds a battery, gets out, just little things. Plus to attack about to finish some skills, he'll be back up and leveled once again for a little. Okay, units just gathering around the bottom left side. I like this, the Fusel's going to get up there, but we actually already have an army moving into position on the side of Skillous, so he's not going to be in too much trouble there, in fact. Stalkers, Mortal, still moving around. Okay, Ali just barking. As Azel's going to get chased about here. Azels and DT's trying to find a way about. They are going to get onto this super battery in the end. MaxPacks being chased back in the center. He's actually outnumbered Zealot-wise and doesn't have any Archons of his own. I actually think it's going to be a bad fight for MaxPacks, so he needs to get something going or play more defensively. The DTs and Zealots, I think, are putting working on the other side, so expect those to keep going as our army of Skillous still settles. And might actually, I mean, that was a good fight for Skillous. Shadow Stride finishes from MaxPacks. He sees this army still out over here. Again, no Archons from MaxPacks is kind of the interesting part of it, because it just means he can't get through Zealots as easily. Missing that splash damage can actually mean quite a lot. MaxPacks trying to capitalize, pushing down into the center of Ghost River now. And Archon taking a few more shots, going to get turned away. MaxPacks is really just losing out. He does not have the numbers to stay alive. Skillous' army supply is bigger, and it is better. MaxPacks may be a little bit too overboard on some of the counter-attacking units. Maybe a little bit too big on the DTs. MaxPacks is just, I mean, he's 20 army supply down. He has an upgrade advantage right now, but again, his army and what he has in it is just Stalker, DT, Zealot. He's missing the tech units like the Immortals and the Archons on the other side. What can we do here? As that Observer would be a big pick, because then maybe DTs could buy you some time as MaxPacks. He's up a lot of workers, so he is mining more, but for every second that passes while he's mining more, he is losing a lot more as well, so he is getting into that worse and worse situation. The DT across the map will at least try and cause some more trouble. As MaxPacks doing what he can with what he's got. Upgrades are going to even out now at +3 apiece. Stalkers are still trading now. A couple of Zealots are still going down. MaxPacks is back onto the supply lead as it is just, I suppose, I mean, killing some probes and then also slowly cleaning up some units over here while his opponent focused on the Nexus. Actually has a grid blink there to get rid of an Immortal. Is MaxPacks getting into a good enough position to stay competitive is my question now, as the Zealots come through, the battery goes down. Is MaxPacks truly on the road to recovery at the moment? It seems like he might be. Seems like he might be. So playing, couple zealots dropping. Again, +1 armor coming in on both sides at the moment. Focus still moving through. Couple more zealots going to clash into one another. We do have this army of MaxPacks. Continue to pull back. That is going to be an Archon going down. A couple of zealots are getting cleaned up as well. A lot of zealots getting cleaned up as we move forwards once again. Zealots, Archons, Stalkers, Immortals all taking damage. MaxPacks back into that supply lead. New units already showing up and going to run toward the natural of Skillous as well. Or the third base. Take your choice. Zealots are going to go wherever they want. And now just got to get through that stack defense. We can start working on some probes. The big thing is it does pull back units from Skillous. It takes his attention over there. Allows MaxPacks to potentially create better fights for himself back on this side. Man, that's a lot of zealots. We kind of need to get a more serious response up and running to that because, yeah, they're just going to overwhelm the few stalkers that I walked in. MaxPacks has money in the bank. That extra work account has absolutely benefited him throughout this, and it looks as though it's having a very positive overall effect. As we push through, stalkers, the Archons and the Immortal continue to come through as well. Continue to push across. Zealots come back over. DTs are going to be there. Stalker Zealots still gathering up. We do have a couple more Zealots taking some shots now. MaxPacks. He's drawn this back into his favor again, hasn't he? Man, what a game. What a series. MaxPacks is just so good at army movement and forcing a split of units in this matchup. I used to commend MaxPacks for being good at like the early game and the build orders of PvP, but the way that he just battles in PvP and kind of forces his opponent into bad fights despite having, in my eyes, the worst army, just plays so well towards his own advantages, you know? Well, this one is pretty much coming up to a close here. A few more Stalkers trying to trade out, a few more Stalkers going down. The Zealot's going to wrap around as well. MaxPacks just has too much, and at this point, Skillous can't really compete anymore. Now you've seen our Stalkers and Zealots continue to move about. Are the Stalkers moving about? Stalkers and Zealots still fighting. GG's. MaxPacks wins it out 2-0 over Skillous. Takes down this semi-final. Alright guys, so MaxPacks takes down the semi 2-0. He moves to the finals. I actually think I'm going to wrap it up here today. I'm going to have a super long stream tomorrow, guys. I got a couple things I got to do tonight, so I'm going to call it a little bit early. I feel like you guys are going to have a great time. Clem vs. Creator, WardiTV versus MaxPacks. But there's a lot of other streams going on, so I'm going to drop you guys off over to Roddy, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, because we're going to have a long stream tomorrow with the WardiTV Summer Bash Group D, and I think we're going to try and go live a little early, do some of the Group C games as well, so I'll leave you guys for that. Sorry for cutting it a little bit short, but enjoy the games with the other guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for more StarCraft 2.